Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mountain Mayhem by Rocky Mountain Esports. I'm Alderia, joined once again with my lovely co-caster Rhodes. Welcome, man.
Hello, hello. I'm very excited for this match between PandasQT and RME Aurora. Both teams are 1-0, so this is definitely going to be a very interesting series.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that it can be a real banger, honestly. Both of these teams have had a really strong start to the league, and I just want a genuinely entertaining match, personally. 3 maps overtime on each, Rhodes? You with it?
I mean, we'll definitely have to find out here. We are starting out on Lotus. This is RME's map pick. So, since both teams had such a strong start to this league so far, it definitely probably does favor RME having that first map pick, just so they can maybe get some advantages early on, maybe get some mental prosperity heading into the later stages of tonight. But I'm really interested to see what both these teams can actually do, as Pandas did pick defense on this attacker side map.
So for me, the story of this game is going to come down to RME's confidence. They are starting on attack for all 3 of these maps. They need some momentum. They need confidence to be taking these gunfights and establishing the pace that this is going to be going, right? They can't play to PandasQT's style and pace. They have to establish their own if they're going to be attacking starting every single map.
Yeah,
So,
especially since two of the maps. Especially since 2 of the maps are 3 attack, or 2 out of 3 of the maps are 3-site maps. It definitely does favor them as well. It kind of makes it harder for Pandas to actually get into it. So, like you were saying, it definitely is going to need. It's all on RME to figure out the pace of how the series will go on.
And I'm really excited to see it. We've seen at least one of these players before, I know, in the previous league that we casted. Pugs was part of the RME roster that won Honeydew Summer Showdown, and she had a really strong performance in the grand finals. So I'm really looking at her to see how she's going to perform in this matchup specifically. It's going to be an early aggression towards Mound. This C site is usually a victim of a lot of attacks on Lotus, and right as I say that, they're all going to rotate to A, which is where the Cypher is set up. So this doesn't bode amazing for RME.
Yeah, but I mean, they did actually pull the KO away a bit, did kind of split them up, but either way, they have to get through all the Cypher utility from Foolmonger. Definitely going to be very interesting to see how they actually do fight this.
And Serena is actually going to get the opening kill. Very quickly traded back by Reshmonger. And it's going to keep these things even at a 4v4, but as that plant goes down on the B side, it will be advantage RME transitioning into this post plant. Have to be diligent here on the clear for the flank, and B-Riddle will go down with nothing to show for it. So now we find ourselves in a 4v3 post plant situations. The attackers are set up beautifully to hold this, and it's a great pivot to this B site to avoid that explode. They're raining in. Crispy doubles up, and now it's brought back to a 2v2, and there's even one of these players on the defenders that's extremely low. So it's very well, but Fullmonger to get one. The players line up though, and that HP is the difference maker there. Ellie able to collect both kills and secure this pistol.
I mean, that all kind of started with the Soraya first blood there, able to get it off. Yes, got instantly traded back by Reshmonger, but it did just ultimately let them get onto that B site, able to go over, and of course it all did finish off with a 2v2, turn into a 2v1, and L was able to win it overall, able to get that, I believe it was a collat with the Ghost. Yeah. By the way, pretty good round for RME. Them getting off to a good start definitely helped a lot heading into this attack, because it just lets them be able to snowball a lot. But this trap play here from Pandas could be deadly.
Unfortunately, they will be diligent on the clear. RME managed to flush out that player of V-Riddle, and nothing will be collected from them. Trying to get some footing from this door, but it's going to slam in their face. A couple of bullets to boot. So now, once again, it is a massive advantage for RME as Fullmonger trying to make a flank happen, and it is being considered being paked, and Killmonger will have nothing to show for this. This is most likely going to be a flawless round out of RME here.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if someone goes down. I mean, Ionic has to do something crazy as both be spotted out as well. There's nothing happening for this round for Pandas, but either way, good from RME. They're able to get that starting pick onto Riddle, which ultimately lets them get the B site. They, of course, saw the stuff that was potentially happening, and Xerxes will pick up a 3-clay flawless for this round, which is, I mean, not bad start for RME. They take no damage, and I mean, they bring in some pretty good runs into this next round where, I mean, if you're Pandas, you've got to be a bit careful here.
Xerxes getting the 3K there is actually really big. That secures the Thrash, which in this bonus round could give them that little nudge to push it over the line here, despite the disadvantage in terms of weaponry. They're running in with 3 Spectres, but if they get a Detain going, and a lot of these players who are on light armor as well, a couple of fights don't go their way, we could easily see RME here. Point will go out towards Ruins, and not really any damage exchanged thus far. V-Riddle setting out the boom buys. Ability on top of this going on. It's gonna favor Pandas kills. RME now have to recover that spike out in the open. V-Riddle is gonna shut down any attempt to get it back. This is looking like a potential flawless to respond.
I mean, it is definitely looking very good. They're still set up there, and like we saw after the start round, 4 players from this Pandas roster were actually sitting towards this A side, which definitely was able to get them these picks as Soraya is spotted out, gets some damage on the Reshmonger, but I mean, they are looking so good into this round, this Pandas team. I mean, you can see Riddle just so poised at this position, just looking rubble. Will get the one-way as well. It looks like Soraya should be able to get this spike, but I don't know if it's enough as it's a 5v2. They're so spread out around the map, this Pandas team, and it's just looking really good so far for Pandas in this round.
Yeah, they still have not gotten this spike. It is... I don't know if Sorora wasn't able to see it, maybe, or if it was like outside the smoke, but there it is. Sorora will recover this spike, but with only 20 seconds left, they don't really have anywhere to go with it. They've really stalled out here trying to get that spike back, and it is... I mean, any chance at this round has forfeit. At this point, it's just about trying to get a little bit of damage on the board. Monger is just gonna run away and hide. Doesn't want to lose their rifle. The economy is fragile from the defenders, so if they lose more of these rifles, it could get really rough in these falling rounds. But 4 alive is gonna bode well.
Yeah, overall, very good for them not taking too much damage. Riddle did go down, but I mean, all that round was actually just so much from Ionic there. Actually able to get the double flash, which got him a kill and Riddle, which turned to an instant 3v5, which is a very good advantage heading into that back half of that round, and you can definitely see the spiral come out from there. Of course, we did just see them able to save a gun there, so they will have another Vandal heading in as they will force some guns out. So I wonder how they will play this.
It's full rifles and still some light armor scattered across the defenders. So in terms of buy, this is ever so slight advantage to RME. But if the shots are hit, that light armor won't make much difference versus full rifles. However, if RME read into the fact that it's a lot of light armor buys, that could start to pose some problems for PandasQT. A bit more ways to deal with these kinds of buys nowadays in VAL. Ionic rather. I mentioned earlier in the round previous did really well. Found an opener.
I mean, the flash wasn't great, but able to find the shots either way. Will get down Soraya, so a lot of the flanking potential still open now for this Pandas team, as it looks like they're heading A to Rebel. With 2 players there, can they hold them?
Riddle up on top here. We'll get 1 and get a lot of damage onto Elliot as well. Ionic doing a lot of pressure here. He's going to only add to it. Hit with that Prowler. Rushmonger is going to be forced to trade it back. It's still player advantage here for the side of Pandas. They're playing this smart. They're grouping up and just want to play these trades. However, if this A site can
bring them down.
Trade exactly what's happening. That plan is going to start going down. The punch is coming in, but Dogita with a great coverage for that plant. Now it's a 2v2. Both players locked into the roll, but Pugs picks up the kill, and now it's up to a 1v1 for Fullmonger. Cannot, actually does manage to find the kill, but doesn't seem to be anticipating the wrap around from Pugs. And I'm actually very surprised that Fullmonger lived that long.
I mean, I really like how Pugs actually played that. Just the poise there on the spike plant, able to just play slowly, play smart, able to find the 2 picks to win the round. And overall, that's going to give RME a 3-1 lead. They did force a bit into that round, which ultimately they pulled it off. They're able to get their money back a bit. They're, of course, both teams' economy kind of broken right now. It does look like Pandas is going to be forcing a lot. So I really wonder how this is going to go, because whoever, well, if Pandas lose this round, their economy is even more shattered than before.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that buy-up, to be honest. It feels really risky here from Pandas, but a good flash from Ionic is going to give them some space here in Rubble. Trying to get another opening kill here, and haven't quite managed to find it. Instead, they're just going to reset, they're going to fall back.
Go get him.
Not quite. They're kind of all over the place right now, but they are keeping this Rubble on lockdown.
Yeah, it does look like Army does want to hit C here. Will be spotted out by Fullmonger's cam though, so definitely going to call some people over, because almost everyone is towards A side, but it does look like Crispy is going to start rotating over. We'll definitely see if they do commit to the site. They do still have that thrash available as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, and there it comes.
That thrash is going to go in and clear out most of the site. Fullmonger's tamed all the way towards CT, so only Crispy to hold on here. Going to set up in this smoke. They don't want to over-aggress and lose their life, but that means they will be going down here. Army find themselves in yet another favorable post plant. It's a 5v5 though, and there's a showstopper available for Pandas. Looks like they want to initiate quickly onto this site. Blue middle with the Stinger gets across and manages to secure a kill, and a flurry of kills come in. To Ellie, 1v3 and can't manage to do it. Blue middle with the classic shuts it down in a perfect post-plant retake.
I mean, it looked favorable for a second for Army there, but that paranoia from Rushmonger actually it found quite a bit of players, and especially with that showstopper there from Riddle, found a lot of damage onto this Army team, and eventually they're just able to clean it up. You see the assists fly for Rushmonger, and the kills go down too, as, I mean, great round there for Pandas. Really good bounce back, especially on that really weird buy. Of course, a lot of them had guns besides Riddle, and I mean, he showed why he just needed the Stinger. Able to close the distance, able to find the kills, and that's going to force RME onto their first save of this game.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned that it was very risky going for that force buy up, but it ended up working in their favor. They managed to get the round here, and they put themselves in a good position to towards A. It's going to bear fruitful as 2 players go down, but it's actually traded back quickly by Pugs. A player that I mentioned I'm keeping my eye on has shown up really big in this round. Can they continue pushing it forward, though? Odin on the other side of the site. Rushmonger is just tucked into B. This is a very passive setup here from Pandas.
I mean, yes, that trade does still technically favor this Pandas team, but overall, them being able to get guns for RME, that was huge. They have some rifles and that...
Face your fear!
And so now has to fight for their life. Can't even tell if the enemies are getting close. This doesn't have any audio to work with, but they've been stalled out inside of the smoke here. Finally, will break through, but Crispy is there to respond. So now the advantage flips here, and as the nightfall goes in, it's a 1v3 for Dogita. They seem to know that they're in the smoke right now. Pushes out, gets 1, but Crispy 3 on the round to get 3 on the board. A great round from the Fade.
Like I said, Pandas still favorite in the round, but I mean, yes, they did lose quite a bit of players on that Thrifty, but either way, I mean, Army will take it after they did have some opportunities with Pugs' Nightfall. It just didn't find enough, as Crispy just so strong there on the site. Didn't fall down, which definitely did feel like that was the mistake of them not trying to get the last person on that site able to fully secure it, because Crispy wins the round for them, and now that Riddle can buy an op, this is definitely turning into a whole new game for this Pandas team where Army needs to be careful. Even though they have guns now, this is definitely a scary position to be in, especially with the ultimate deficit.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, this map, you need to be ratcheting sides, and specifically with how RME is set up for this series, they need to have confidence for these attacking sides and need to be able to attack the pace. And they've struggled in the last few. It's really been, the control's really been taken back by Panda. It's gonna be a quick exec onto the B site. Ellie doesn't quite make it up to heaven, and I feel like another opener in this series is going to give a good situation for Pandas to work off of as they can just fall back and look to play these trades. It's a very slow mid-round here from both teams.
Definitely not how Army wants to start this round. Their top fragger dies, and now they'll be spotted out at B once again. The smoke will come out, and now they're forced to go somewhere else. But Ionic trying to start a fight with Soraya, and I mean, these trades are just not going well so far for Army. Even if they find Ionic here, they still have the player advantage heading into the rest of this round.
Slow mid-round definitely favors Pandas here. They have managed to spread back out across the map and gather information. Serena manages to get a kill though. Apologies on messing that name up, I'm sure. We'll have to ask her at some point how to pronounce that, I feel. Soraya? I don't know. I'll have to ask. But in the meantime, while we're waffling about, we've got a plant on the A site here.
Yeah, I mean, now it's very favorable for Army now, as, I mean, this flank from Soraya could be absolutely huge for them.
Agita holds on, takes out Bullmonger. Reshmonger just to get one, but Dogita is there to continue to add to this, and the one to open the round, the one to close it. Saria has gotten 3 on the round. It's really good to start farming up that Thrash again.
Yeah, Soraya's flank there absolutely huge, especially with Dogita actually able to get that pick to actually enable this Pandas team to be more scared, really trying to force a lot more. And then with the flank coming in from the Cypher, just able to put the nail in the coffin. They get their lead back, and now they finally force the Pandas onto this eco. It does look like a Guardian will come out from Ionic, which, I mean, is quite scary, but since no one is on that side of the map, it will find absolutely nothing.
I have a plan, look, alright? I'll say Saria, and you say Soraya, and no matter what, 50% of the time, it's being said correctly. Sound good? Alright, well, Soraya is gonna get a double on the round to open it up. It's going really good here for the Vector right now. Bullmonger, I am RME barrel through the site here, and C is completely lost. This was a very quick round.
I mean, absolutely no hope for this Pandas team, and the only person with the gun is left in a 1v4. The only person that this Pandas team was actually able to get was Dogito, which, I mean, is fine all around, but you got their bottom frag, you got the person. It's just not a great situation for them. Won't even be able to find another L, pick it up. Huge for this RME roster. They're up by 2 now. They want to get a few more rounds because, I mean, if the defense can get at least 5, I definitely think it's more favorable to them. So I want to see if Army can stack a bit more, play a bit better with each other, and definitely be able to try and snowball the rest of this half.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Fullmonger is going to call the timeout here. Panda, they want to slow it down. They want to take some time to talk things over, try and get a bit more of a foothold in this half. They've gotten 3, which is all right for their defense, but they need to get a few more probably. On Lotus, you're looking for at least 4 to 5 rounds on the defense. And they're sitting at 3 right now, and momentum is very much in favor of RME.
Yeah, especially since this is coming back to their gun round as well. They want to look for a lot more, maybe not die at the start, because it has kind of felt like Ionic would either find the first pick or the rest of his team would rest of their team would really just fall down, and it definitely does paint a bad picture at the start of these rounds. It definitely doesn't help the confidence of the team when that does happen. So definitely probably want to talk to each other more, get some more rotates going, because we have seen their post plants at least earlier in this game actually look quite decent. So we want to see what they can do on these retakes and definitely play together more as a team.
The thing that's interesting for me here from RME is if you look at their scoreline, this is an incredibly even spread of kills. Every player is very much pulling their weight right now, and that's really good for the ultimate economy as well. They have 2 available right now. They have 3 that aren't too far off from being available as well. And the third one will be added as Ellie picks up this horde and gets the showstopper online. This is looking to be a very well set up round in RME if they so choose to invest these ultimates.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what they decide to do. Guys. I mean, they're going to be peeking out in huge damage on the Riddle, so that's definitely going to be a nice advantage heading into this later, as the A site might be the one they're choosing. I'm not exactly sure, as Zerfy does stop for just a moment. They're kind of like looking around, trying to see what they were going to do, but Pandas, they have 4 players actually towards kind of this A site. They could break this broken door, which we have seen them do before. We do see Soraya actually moving up towards B, so I do wonder what their end game is, as, I mean, they are ready either way, this Pandas team.
It looks like it wants to be the B execute here. They got the broken door and they send it in with the showstopper. That heaven will be vacated, but as a result, Mayhem's going to be able to get that spike down and looking to favor the attackers. There are some ultimates available for the defenders here if they want to invest them. Got a neural theft in a from the shadows, but they need to get a kill for that neural theft to see any value. Meanwhile, Crispy has gone down. Ellie caught out, but to retreat back to the safety of her team with Pugs set up on already. I got a message. Pugs gets a double kill. Looking to just completely close this round. It's a completely shut down round for Pandas.
You don't need nightmare
Odin
powers.
just takes so many kills, and Rhodes, I'm gonna do a quick victory lap on you. I just got a message from the man, the myth, the legend, Rudy Rojos. It's Saria.
God damn it.
The worst part is you said it's 90% Soraya with like so much
90%.
confidence that I was like, he must know something that I don't.
Well, because I know 2 people named Soraya, not Sarita.
But I mean, always good to hear from Rudy. A bit of a guest appearance without him being in the VC. Shout out to my boy, to my Pookie.
Either way, huge round there from Pugs, and I mean, they're looking to attack C here, where there is no one but the lone Fullmonger, but it does look like they're actually going to be slowly going back, where, I mean, Riddle and Crispy are pushed up quite far with these stingers. Could definitely be very scary for this RME team.
This could be a very good trap play. Army are not ready. All right, never mind. Army are completely ready for it. They absolutely bulldoze through A main. A bit of caster's curse action there, and I might be getting some angry messages from Pandas. They're not looking too hot in this round, but Ionic, who has been a very standout member throughout this game, is going to get a little bit of hope for their team. And they're just to secure a kill and this round. Saria gets one, but traded back. Ionic could pick up a rifle here, and we could see a massive hero round if they so choose to go for it.
Yeah, but I mean, look at all the players playing towards Rubble here. It's going to be so hard for Fullmonger to do anything, especially as they try to pick up the gun. So this is quite difficult. We'll need to see Ionic do something, as the spike is just not in the best position. Actually, no, it just works free, so I'm a bit confused.
This is... If Ionic is quick on this could be really rough for RME, as they could get half on this spike. The Gecko ult is available, but they still have to deal with this A main position. Just barely taken out the half, but too many numbers to deal with. If maybe the A main player could hold on for just a little bit longer, and perhaps Ionic won a gunfight there, it could be something, but it'll fall just short of a miracle round.
I mean, they do get some damage, but either way, huge for this RME team, as they have 7 rounds, which is probably the perfect amount to get in a half. Now they can just try and get these 2 more. I mean, both teams will have guns again, 4 ultimates available for each, so this definitely can be a very toss-up-y round, as it does look like they want to go towards C. Once again, where it's only Fullmonger, so will they commit this time is the question, as they do actually have the ultimates to actually get on the site pretty easily.
we said that we needed to see RME take control of the pace of this
Face
game,
your
that is
fear!
exactly what has happened. That Nightfall is going to kind of be a warning to the lone defender on the site to just evacuate, or else you will be bulldozed like your teammates in A main before you. Ionic, though, are going to take out Surya inside of B. It means that they have access to this door crunch if they want to abuse that. That spike will go down, and you start poking and prodding around, and player advantage, sending the Nightfall, trying to add to that. Bullmonger manages to take out Dog Eater, and it's just these 3 members left on the site. There's a lot of utility and bodies coming their way. The showstopper rains through, Pugs goes down, and it's all left up to one player. Ellie cannot stand strong against the full force of the retake, and Pandas will find their 4th.
Like I said before, it is just really good retakes from this Pandas team, and they just executed it whatsoever on them. They were able to actually not lose a single member, which is absolutely huge. Of course, they did use all their ultimates, but either way, that is just team difference there. Army didn't use almost anything after the fact, so that all favored this Pandas team. Able to get 4. If they can get 5, that would be amazing to end this half. They can definitely snowball it on their attack, and we'll see what Army does have up their sleeve, as they do have the Thrash available, and I'm really interested to see what does end up happening.
Okay, Ionic has dropped a Vandal or a Guardian. Wants to spam Pugs here. That is such an interesting idea, and it's gonna put Pugs down to 55 HP. I love that decision.
I wonder what they're gonna do now, because that's definitely gonna kind of scare them off quite a bit. It's gonna make them second guess what they want to do on this attack, and then Pug's just gonna keep spamming it. But they are definitely confused on what they want to do. It does look like A will be the ending point as the paranoid does come out.
I'm gonna start throwing this utility into level. Ellie spotted out by behind. He's gonna just tuck in. Doesn't want to give up their life. Riddle on the aggress here, trying to poke and prod forward. Army have already left. They are out of there, and Fullmonger is trying to get ahead of them. Rotate caught on a timing though. Zerfi has completely opened up this C site. It's only
I know
Ionic here.
exactly
They're
where.
late on the rotate as well. They just now starting to get there. The neural theft comes in. Their position is confirmed. Can stop the wingman from getting that plant down, but can't stop the players from getting in. Zerfi doubles up in this round to give a huge opening to RME to find their 8th, as that spike will go down. Ellie wants to try and help this team in CT here. They know that these defenders have been loving a lot of utility into it, and it's Zerfi to collect the 3rd. It's all left up to 2 members here. Rushmonger and V-Riddle have to pick up the pieces in a 2v4. And as I say that, V-Riddle will be the last one remaining. 1v4, a high-loaded deal with no shot. It's 8 on the half for RME.
I mean, Zerfi with a very underrated game so far. We haven't really talked about them much, but able to get a lot of advantages in this game and definitely capitalize on the over-aggression from this Pandas team. That something we did say kind of earlier, that they have been really good on retakes, that their mid-rounding definitely has fallen apart, and we just saw it right there as well. Not the best in the world from what we just saw, and definitely have to see what they can do on this attack, as the retakes were so powerful on their defense. What can they do on their attack when they're actually taking these sites? Can they hold off this Army team that has just looked so good early in this game?
Yeah, I mean, this pistol really is important for Pandas. They have to pull something off here, or else it's very possibly going to be the Army running away with something here. Granted, or no, it's Panda's map pick as well, so this is not boding well for them in the series right now.
I believe this is Army's map.
Yeah,
Panda pick defense.
Panda pick defense. My bad. I'm so used to the team that picked this map to be starting on the defense. So my bad.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually seen that quite a bit. I believe in the last series we watched as well, the team that picked defense on, I don't know if it was Haven or Lotus, but either way, it was quite interesting because you kind of think of this map as a very attack-centered map, and it definitely blew up in their faces, and so far it has blown up in Panda's faces. They haven't been able to find definitely as much as they would like, and we'll definitely have to see what they do this episode as he looks like their attack is going there. But I mean, the bomb all the way towards A. Reshmonger could find a nice timing.
I mean, you said that Pandas couldn't really find anything in their defensive half, but the same is being said here in this pistol, honestly. They've poked and prodded all around the map, and been stifled at every turn. They haven't been able to find anything until they get into a site. Bionic to take out Ellie, but Pugs playing the traditional could be huge. Crispy goes down, and all of a sudden this round feels so awkward for Pandas as they know that their backline is compromised. Fullmonger gets one more. Pugs is gonna double up. Is gonna get another one. Dogita gonna respond as well. These attackers feel so crunched right now. It's V-Riddle back at the site, trying to hold on. Play off of Rushmonger's contact. Oh my god, what a double kill though. The right click out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, Surya is up in a 1v2. The time is already ticking down as well. We'll manage to isolate the kill onto V-Riddle, but Reshmonger is no problem playing the time here. It's so low at this point. Surya does manage to get the kill. Does she have the time? No, she does not. A great post plant from the attackers to stall out that clock.
I mean, that whole round was all because of V-Riddle. That was so huge getting those kills. They had the timing, but it just wasn't enough. The right clicks came through with the flick. You gotta think they want that one back, because there's no way V-Riddle should have been alive. But overall, they were able to find that round in a huge pistol for this Pandas team, and now they can potentially snowball some rounds. We can definitely see what they can do on this attack, as the start of it, like you said before, was a bit messy. They're trying to poke and prod. Nothing really came about it. But we'll see what they decide to do here, as RME are kind of defenseless on this defense. They only have one sheriff to their name, the rest classics, and it is quite hard to defend against all the weaponry that, never mind, now I should have hit tab. There's only 2 guns right now for this Pandas team. They have a Phantom and a Bulldog. They are playing ballsy.
The really interesting thing about this as well is Fullmonger has fully invested into V-Riddle stock for this round. Fullmonger bought V-Riddle that Phantom so that
my camera is
full armor on it, and it's gonna do well. It does manage to get a kill here onto Ellie. Great trade back. That's actually the only sheriff from the defenders. That doesn't bode well for RME. Now it's all up to the classic to try and make it work.
I mean, they got the Bulldog down for a second, as that is what Ionic had. I mean, they can just pass that off pretty easily. The Reshmonger and the rest of this round will transpire. Just like A will be the final hit here, so we'll definitely see how RME looks to defend it with no weaponry whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see if maybe RME start pulling some more players to hold close to the smoke, but instead it's just gonna be Doggy trying to hold on to the fight. They're on the B actually. This will be Riddle. Being able to farm up these kills in these close quarters engagements, and now it's all of a sudden the curse has struck on Lotus. The classics kill everyone.
I mean, that's kind of what you get when you're playing that risky, and Zerfi playing so strong with the right clicks, and eventually was able to find V-Riddle. The gun went down, did get traded back by the Bulldog, but I mean, all your players are gone. Huge defense there from them, and that is definitely not what you want if you're Pandas. RME looking to have some strong play now, as we're going to see more rifles bought by this Pandas roster. I'm so confused on what their game plan is really, as they're just investing so weirdly into these rounds, and it didn't work out last time. Can it work out this time is the best question, as Ionic going to play very aggressive here, but I don't think he can find much.
Yeah, I mean, up against Ellie, that's a difficult fight to win with a classic, that's for sure. Ionic will go down with not much to show for it. However, once again, the interesting factor this round, we got V-Riddle with a full rifle. They are confident in their duelist.
I mean, we haven't seen too much from V-Riddle so far, and Dogita gonna find a Reshmonger. That's one of the rifles down, too.
V-Riddle, though, does manage to strike and takes Surya out of this round. Looking to potentially flip it back on its head once again. We saw the pistol win from Pandas. Now all of a sudden they find themselves losing the follow-up, and got an okay shot at winning this third, but there's still quite a bit of ways to go, as Pugs is going to confirm that nobody went through onto this B site. It's only going to enforce the idea that it's coming through onto C. As the contact comes through, that'll be confirmed. V-Riddle, though, with a great nade, start to push these players back. Murphy, what a shot. Fullmonger, though, let's just trade one back. This is still a questionable round here. It feels so spread out from these attackers. They're completely isolated from one another, and it's going to cause Crispy to just go down on the site. Fuse will be stuck here, and this round will fizzle out.
Like what RME actually did there, they left the gun in B main, so actually Crispy was actually able to pick one up, and that could have been really scary for RME, as they did actually have 2 rifles. But I think that since everyone was so spread out, Fullmonger nowhere near the play, it was just pretty easy pickings, able to get them on the site. Crispy left alone, had the spike planted, and overall RME able to find those picks. It's 10-5 now. It's looking quite rough, as these plays that this team has tried to do, Pandas is going for these very unorthodox plays, just hasn't exactly worked out in their favor so far. So, I mean, if RME can keep abusing them on them, this is definitely looking very good for them in this big game. And so far in this half, at least, because like I said before, we got them with the curse, unfortunately for them, and it might spiral out of control. We'll definitely have to find out. That showstopper from V-Riddle, I'm really looking to them to try and secure them around.
Yeah, but it still feels like really good setups from RME right now. They haven't over-aggressed really at all, and it's left Pandas in a situation where it feels like they keep trying to poke and prod at certain sites and certain aggressions, and they just aren't finding anything with it. And they're not. I don't want to speak too much for them, but it feels like they're just not confident going in on a 5v5 right now.
Yeah, I mean, they need to find some sort of confidence. Yes, it's not their map, and they even pick defense, which, again, very interesting decisions from this team as a whole. But we'll definitely have to see what they decide to do, as Fullmonger might be peeked out by this potential little bit of a high-low here from Pug, and will get taken down. Oh,
clean shot on Ellie, though, so it keeps it at a 4v4 here, and Crispy is pushing forward towards the same angle. It's been switched up from Pugs, and Crispy is going to swing as if it was a deep play. Pugs a lot of pressure, manages to take on Crispy, head on a swivel, can't manage against Ionic. So now it's going to come down to these defenders trying to retake. It's a 3v3 and a bit of a health advantage as well. But as V-Riddle pops that showstopper, it's not going to find any targets. I really thought that V-Riddle's just going to hold on to that and try and burn down the clock. But it's a rip early, and Rushmonger get these early advantages, and it's working. V-Riddle is quick to respond as well. It's a 1v2 here. Zerfi, who has been pretty solid throughout this series, now thrusted into a 1v2 that she will pull off. Great shots, and a bit of a delayed peak here from the attackers is going to result in them fumbling another round.
If you give Zerfi one, they're going to take all your players, because those were some clean shots to finish that off. And I was just about to say that that this Pandas team, Fullmonger able to find L was the reason they were actually able to win that round, but overall it just didn't matter. Pugs being confident on that site, found the trade, and then eventually just Zerfi so strong with another 3K in this game, 18, 8, and 5. Now has the Thrash, and now RME. They're looking to completely shut it down. If they can win this round, I think it's about over for this Pandas team on Lotus, but I mean, we'll find out as they're attacking A, where 3 players are. I mean, this is going to be a bloody early game.
Yeah, Rushmonger is trying aggressive. Pugs, who was really good in the last, will go down early here. Perhaps that's the solution to the equation. Ellie also caught out by Fullmonger. This Merc that hasn't bared a lot of fruit will suddenly have some impact here, and RME are a bit scattered, not sure how to deal with this round, so they're going to choose to just go for the straight up retake here. That means their backs, though, will be vulnerable to this Cypher alert. However, as I say that, it's just going to be a fallback towards Lewis on the front lines here. It's Zerfi to take the initiative. Ionic, though, who has been rock solid in this series, is going to get a double and is even set up to potentially get the third here as they hold the flash. does manage to get the timing, but it's now up in the 1v2. We've seen Pandas lose these before. So that Pike goes onto the spike. The bluff is called here, and RME do not have a chance. The time is too far gone. They're gonna have to just settle for a safe rifle.
I think Zerfi would really like to hit Ionic there with a Thrash, but since he doesn't, since she doesn't, Ionic able to survive so long there in that drop position, able to find a lot of picks that definitely shouldn't have happened. Of course, Story will eventually get the trade, but as the time is too far gone, it is such a favorable position there for Pandas as they force RME onto an eco. It looks like Astoria might be buying. I might see a few guns out of this RME team, maybe getting a bit overzealous. We'll definitely find out in a few seconds. Either way, huge round for Pandas to keep themselves into it. And yes, the 2 guns will be coming out from Dirk and Soria. We'll see what they decide to do, as I mean, Soria's not even going on the C site, as huge pick from Ionic.
Yeah, Zerfi is removed from the round early here. That's not a good look for RME in this eco. I mean, like you said, there are 2 rifles available here, and the benefit of them losing Zerfi where they did is the fact that Ellie can recover this rifle, but Ionic has looked really clean in some of these rounds, and that's just another great opener for the KO.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely keeping this team in it, at least at the start of these rounds, and able to just find really good positions so far from what we've seen. As, I mean, the bomb is still in their spawn right now. They're actually trying to poke and prod even further, and I mean, they've already found damage in the round. Can they find more further? As Army, they have to remember that they all have ultimates to use as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if they play a bit slower and maybe look to use some of these ultimates, but Fullmonger looking to find some re-aggression onto this A site, really scaring him, but Pugs with a huge fair shot.
Yeah, great shot there, and the worrying thing about this round is look at the ultimate economy. There's a lot of ult available for RME right now. Ellie will be taken out, so lose that player. That paint shell flushes him out so effectively. As that plant goes down, this is not looking great for the defenders. They do have information to work with. They've committed the neural theft forward, and Saria is giving this a look. She's going to be the first one in. She's just starting to make this space. The flash will be turned. All these players are set up towards Mount. Saria wants to spike, drops down, wants to fight this smoke position. She's caught inside of it, and a great push from Ionic to take her out. Doggy it up, just sticking the Stevie with a great shot. Can the Stevie be stopped? Yes, it is Ionic. Who other but them to save this round that could have been a disaster. Only seconds away from tragedy. Crispy will close it out, and a 7th will be found for the attackers here. Pandas are starting to mount a comeback.
I mean, Pugs may have found 4 kills, but it just doesn't matter as Ionic is so strong, saving this Pandas team by so much, able to get that smoke there from Rushmonger, which, I mean, kept them alive in general. I mean, the confusion that they had there was just so unfortunate. The timing that definitely advantaged Ionic so hard as they're actually able to get onto the site, able to find the backstab, able to find all the picks they need to actually propel them to this next round. We're still 11-7. Very doable for Pandas if they can continue on this roll.
Yeah, Ellie, though, manages to take out Ionic with a paint shell, and Pugs even doubles up against V-Riddle. 2 strong players for Pandas have been removed forcefully from this round. So now it's up to the supporting cast to pick up these pieces. Crispy is going to fall back from A main. The rest of the team is looking towards B, but Saria is quick on this flank potentially if she chooses to commit towards it. Dogita with a kill onto Rushmonger, and it's traded back, but RME are quick to respond once again. Zerfi playing just at the edge of the smoke. It's going to be Pugs to collect the kills, but overall, a great round from Army to find match point.
Absolutely tragic if you're a Panda fan. Getting Nada at the start of the round, Ionic, definitely not how you want to end that one, as now it's match point. Not looking good. I just said it's like a caster curse. I just said it's starting to look good for this Pandas team, and then one bad mistake leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, and now Army are back on top. Their economy is cooking, and we're going to see this forced buyout come out from Pandas looking for a prayer here. They have some ultimates to use. As, I mean, I'm looking at Crispy with this Nightfall. We need to see some good stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to issue a public apology to Pandas for saying that they were making a comeback, because they immediately lost the round that I said that following. Ionic does manage to get the opener here, though, so this is once again back to good form here for Pandas. They find themselves in a 4v5, but that caster curse rears its head again as Ellie takes out Ionic on the other side of the map. Saria with the anchor play is absolutely stellar and looks to lock this map away. Reshmonger trying to hold on to the threads here, takes out the player on site, so now has some space to work with. As he loses his teammate, Fullmonger is gonna abandon this round, and with it, it'll be forfeited by Pandas and is secured by RME.
Huge game there from RME, able to capitalize on so many mistakes that Pandas unfortunately drew, and I mean, all the caster curses were probably part of their win, as we were not paid to do so. We are very sorry. Either way, huge game for RME, and I mean, we'll definitely have to see what they do on this Pandas map, which will be Haven.
Yeah, as we're going to go to a 5-minute break real quick, we're going to get ready for Haven, and hopefully we can see a good response from Pandas to possibly bring us to the third.
Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. 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 You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. Casting on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me. Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies. All
Jason leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to see, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the
We are back with this matchup of PandasQT versus RME Aurora. Pandas losing on map 1. Haven does not go their way, so they look to bounce back. Or did I say Haven? Lotus did not go their way, so they look to bounce back in Haven. I've issued my formal apology for casters cursing them, and Rhodes has done nothing wrong, so he didn't have to really do anything.
Exactly. I never do anything wrong besides pronounce someone's name and then get battered in the Twitch chat for 5 minutes. But that's fine. Who
It's
cares?
fine. Hey, welcome to my world. It's usually me, so it's nice. It's nice that the hat is on another head for once.
I'm interested to see what we can see here from Pandas looking to bounce back after, quite a few mistakes, which of course we can say was caster curse related, but also just some things that definitely went wrong for this team, and they're definitely looking to pull back, and they definitely had to have talked about what went wrong that game, what they need to do better, and that is a bit of what I want to see here. They're starting back on the defense, which
Really not.
they
Okay.
didn't choose it this time, but we'll definitely see what we see. As I want to
We
see what
saw
King
four
we're
duelists
seeing.
being hovered, and there was I hate to say that I had hope for a millisecond because there was no way.
Back to simple things, as it will be kind of different for Pandas, as they will be picking up a Fade, which we saw various success over that last game with it, but we'll definitely see what it decides to do over a Sova.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit of an interesting pickup for Haven, but I'm hoping that maybe they have some interesting stuff down the pipeline for it. I mean, like like we sort of, or like we were kind of saying, you kind of have to, if you're going for some off-brand selections, you gotta have something prepared. And on Lotus, starting out on defense didn't go their way, so maybe they just have a little bit more ready for this Haven fade.
I mean, this is their map, and we're seeing a pause. Unfortunately, I don't know who is gone, but I mean, we can just talk about maybe a bit more about this matchup. Of I want to see more from. I want to see a lot of good plays from the rest of this team because it kind of felt like Ionic at the start of last game was more of just they're able to find the opening pick, maybe able to find a few more, but just didn't get as much success with the rest of the team able to find a bit more to help out with these rounds. And I definitely want to see what Pandas can do to definitely help out as now he's on the breach, and I want to see what Riddle can do on this Jet.
I mean, Zerfi had some really solid rounds on the Gecko before, and now gets to stretch her legs on the Breach, you know? A character that offers you, I would say personally, a little bit more freedom than Gecko, or at least a more individual impact than Gecko, I feel. A lot of times with Gecko, it feels like you are just spending your entire game throwing out your utility for your teammates. And whereas on Breach, you can kind of act off of your own stuff a lot more.
There.
Yeah, I mean, both of the initiators last game for each team definitely played their hearts out in that last one. I mean, it looked really good, and we'll definitely see what both teams decide to do, how much team play we're going to see, because that does kind of define Haven quite a bit, because it does feel like is one of the, at least in my opinion, one of the most team-heavy maps where you have to play smart, you have to play together and be concise on one level of mindset.
There.
Because if you're doing one or two different things at the same time, it can spiral out of control into the other team's favor, and that's definitely not what you want at the start of this match.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can get this reconnect soon, so we can get into the action here for Haven, because there's only so much speculate. Why does Jet's face look so goofy there? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know why I picked up on that so much, but like it just looked real goofy there for a second, and I was not ready for it.
It's the ghost of Shannon Williams.
I don't know who that is.
She's the voice actor for Jet.
Oh, I'm dumb.
Yeah.
I don't have the smarticle particles. It's okay.
Let's go a bit off base here. Nothing about Valorant, but 07 to my boy James Earl Jones that died today. Voice of Mufasa, Darth Vader, and many more.
I was gonna say I've heard the name, but I don't know what they've done. You will find out very quickly. I do not recognize names, like at all. I'm sorry.
Take things to the next level.
You guys couldn't hear it because he's muted on the stream. But our observer, the lovely Ecstatic, claps in chat for Ecstatic. He's our boy. We love him. Favorite observer ever. Something played, some kind of audio played through his phone. He might be on TikTok right now or something.
Instantly open TikTok and just hear some beautiful audio that you didn't hear on stream.
Yeah.
No charges.
Foolmonger is reconnected here though, so we should be ready to go here. So we're gonna kick off this pistol round in just a few seconds, I'm sure. As hopefully that timer will start moving. Come on, please. Move timer. I want to get into the pistol, man. I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for this match. Here we go. We're gonna like you said, this is the map pick of Pandas. So and they brought out an unorthodox pick. I'm very interested in what they're planning to bring out here, and so far it's doing all right. They get a couple of pings with that haunt, so they're going to confirm that there was presence towards A, but the real attack is coming in on this garage as Reshmonger is having to hold off against the assault and will do well to take out Ellie, and they're walking right into Foolmonger, who has a great setup with the Cypher trips right here. Pugs manages to take out Resh, but Crispy is quick to respond. It's brought to a 4v3 as Fool is just trying to get the aggression here onto Zerfi, and it will go well. Surya, though, has managed to trade it back. It's a 2v3. This is doable for the attackers. There's a fault line is prepped by Ionic. This could be a crunch onto this garage that RME cannot handle. V-Riddle to put it into a 1v3 and make that a 0v3 as both kills will be collected and the Jet will take the defuse. Oh, nope, just the half. Okay. They wanna get the Rolling Thunder going. That's definitely the smart choice.
Great start there from Pandas, though. The Monger is absolutely able to open up these rounds for this, or open up this round in general for Pandas. They found the picks and eventually just led into a really nice fault line from Ionic to get V-Riddle a double kill. And like you said, they picked up the orb as well for Ionic, able to try and get that Rolling Thunder potentially going in the future, but huge round there, actually. I really like how they played that. Like I said before when we were just waffling about, I want to see some teamwork from this Pandas team because that's what this map ultimately does come down to at the end of the day. And that's what we just saw, some really nice plays, and they're just able to overcome. Of course, this is still quite a disadvantage being on this defense, but if they can play it well and smart, this can definitely be good as Rushmonger playing very aggressive.
And it's going to once again snuff out Ellie from the round. So far has had a very good success rate against the Jet, so we'll see if that becomes a problem for RME going forward as they find themselves in a 4v5 in this second round. Not a lot to work with, just two sheriffs that are going to try and make up the difference. Reshmonger will eat a little bit of damage, jump spotting, and is going to eat even more damage for it as well. So a weak link is possibly on this team right now. Oh, beautiful shot from Surya. It's gonna do 145 damage, wishing that that sheriff did not have a damage fall off range.
We'll definitely find out if that will bite them in the butt, but it does look like Riddle will just completely fall off the angle, so this is a free sight for RME. Of course, they do have the player deficit, but the damage is on their side currently as all the players will come over.
Yeah, and I mean, I might be wrong, but I think both players are below 50 HP or 55 HP as well, which means these sheriffs can become a really big problem inside of this round if they find their mark. Surya is set up to hold heaven, but with the smoke going in her face, she's going to have to reposition, and Ionic is there to capitalize. Zerfi goes down. Pugs is going to get one before being traded back, and it's going to all come down to Surya, who can't get anything. Spammed, smoked by a ghost, and it's going to be the round secured here for Pandas.
Riddle may have gone down, but I mean, Crispy able to drop out of heaven, able to find the pick on Hell, which, I mean, just a very valuable trade-off for your team. And since all the smokes were down too, a lot of players were off center, off focus for RME. Huge round there again for Pandas. They're able to push it to this next round. Of course, they didn't really invest too much, so their money is still looking good as there's only 2 Bulldogs and a Spectre. We'll see what RME can do here because this is their time. They're on attack. The statistically best side for Haven, so I want to see what they can do as so far the teamwork hasn't been the best, but either way that wasn't really a favorable round in general since it was a thrifty, so we'll see what they do decide on.
Yeah, Riddle wants to get aggressive here, and Ellie will once again go down 0-3 on these entries and has to watch this round from the bench once again. Zerfi trying to find something here, but it's actually just been a very passive stance from Pandas after getting that pick.
I mean, high-level players will always say your job as a duelist is to not really get kills, but to open up the site. But if you can get nowhere near the site, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's just you're just not able to pay attention, not able to follow what's going on around this map. Of course, you don't really know if they're going to pull off that play, but since it's such a used one, you gotta think that they should have been expecting that.
Surya is going to get caught by this fault line, so she has to tuck into this cubby. That's going to stall out this attack a little bit more. As that aftershock goes through, she has to continue to take a passive stance, which means Zerfi is alone on the site right now. The rest of her team will start to flood in. This is a really good pinch set up by Pandas. But Saria has to deal with so much in her face, and she can't do it. Pugs gets one, but this is such a chaotic round right now. As Pugs goes down, it's all left up to Dogita in the 1v3. Some of these players are low, but the time is even lower. There's no chance to get into this, so they're just gonna choose to back off and save. A bonus secured by Pandas. I think Rhodes might have died.
I accidentally muted my mic. We'll see a timeout here out of RME, which is, I mean, it is expected here. As I mean, I'll talk about what I just said all over again. Army's focus there was just kept getting split from all these different Panda players from going left and right, and I mean, Army's players never actually were able to find who they wanted to kill. Just each player just poking off each other, so just definitely split all their vision, and even the smokes and the utility coming in. Huge round there for Pandas overall. They're able to find the picks. They just kind of tucked them into that B site, barely got out. And I just really liked how they played that. Like I said at the start, when at the very start of the pause, I need to see them play more together. And so far, I'm really enjoying from what I'm seeing on this bounce back from Panda.
Yeah, and now you know that it is a bit of a rough situation for RME, as Echo has chosen to call the timeout, wants to try and calm their players down and try and find some kind of foothold here, because Haven thus far has eluded them, and now they might potentially have to eco here. I mean, it's a bit of a scattered by some sheriffs. There is that Vandal saved over from Dogita, so that's going to be the main thing we're looking at here, and the rest of the players picking up sheriffs. So Dogita could juggle this Vandal around depending on how this round is played out from the defenders so aggressively. And yeah, the op from V-Riddle is going to ring out. They know that it's towards the seaside, but that's not going to deter them from aggressing Garage here. I actually kind of like that. On the eco, when you're trying to rely on strength and numbers, maybe just try and overwhelm the operator and just overrun the site. But they are going to start to back off. And as I say that, they're starting to pivot towards A, which is not looking great for them, as it's where so much Cypher utility is set up.
Yeah, that can definitely be very scary trying to attack onto it, but I want to see what Dogita can do here, because this Vandal is such a huge priority right now for this Army team to do some damage into this game. And I mean, we just haven't seen enough from this Omen thus yet in both these maps, so I really want to see some more confidence heading into the rest of this round and just game in general to try and maybe get some more momentum, get some more kills, and able to open up this team or this rounds more for this team, as we're going to see a bit of aggression from Rushmonger here actually pushing up Garage. Saria could actually find a great timing.
Yeah, but not before Rushmanga takes out Dogita. Will potentially, yes, it will be traded back by Saria. So there's still a chance in this round. And as they're barreling in the site towards the op, V-Riddle is going to have to just fall back. Blinded up, though, is kind of lost and eventually managed to find their way back to CT. Ionic, though, collects a kill from Garage and tries to double up, but can't quite do it. Pugs gets the kill. Pinged out on the site. V-Riddle will close it out. A great retake, despite losing a lot of players from PandasQT.
Yeah, like you said, they lost quite a bit there, but either way, I want to point out Ionic actually going back Garage, able to find the 2 picks, which is actually able made them actually able to go onto the C site, which, of course, like Army had no guns really. They were kind of just forcing stuff out of, because they're able to find some early picks. Either way, huge round there for Pandas. It's 4-0. As they keep stacking it on, their economy goes up and up, and they're starting to not really care about how it all goes, really, about how these rounds are actually proceeding, because they're winning these rounds and they're stacking on this defense, by the way, which is an absolutely huge momentum boost for this team.
Yeah, V-Riddle once again posted up with the op here. Is just going to be holding the angle, and surely there isn't a peek without any utility to back it up. Come on. Okay, luckily the shot will not land for Riddle, but RME narrowly dodging death here. They will send up the smoke. They're going to play it on the edge of long here, so potentially looking to either pop flash out or just cut off this line of sight for a lurk. from Ellie as they reposition towards mid. They're going to be cut off by Crispy. This information will be relayed. Even though the fault line comes through, the defenders are going to start repositioning, and Riddle takes Ellie out of this round. This could start to fall apart for RME. Soria, sorry, kind of lost the words for a second there. Does manage to trade one back, and a great push through Garage by Pugs is going to catch Crispy unaware. This op is still here, though, in the A link. It's going to start, or C link rather, it's going to collect a kill. It's all going to come down to V-Riddle, and the 1v2 dash forward from V-Riddle is going to take Dogita out, but this lockdown is a lot to deal with. V-Riddle just getting aggressive. Soria in the 1v1 is going to throw the Nanoswarm down. Doesn't get detonated, but good in the 1v1. RME do manage to stabilize for this round despite a hefty cost of 4 players and their lockdown.
They're able to finally find the round. It was only Soria left, but I mean, able to clutch it up with that lockdown overall. Huge utility usage, able to pick it up after the last kill. And I mean, we'll definitely see how they can potentially spiral it now, as their gun situation's still a bit rough. It does look like they can still buy some Vandals, but some half armors will come out as well. Riddle still has an op, will be towards mid. But I really like that call, going up through Garage, got Crispy off guard, and they're able to find the picks. I really like what did end up happening.
Soria takes a lot of damage there from Iona. It's going to just set up this crunch inside of mid, and V-Riddle holding that window position is going to get a kill and double up as well. Soria is removed from the round. The hero of the last will have nothing to say in this one. It's the rest of RME to try and collect these kills. Even a wallbang shot, I believe, from Riddle there is going to get these players even lower. Dogita barely able to get away with their life. They're just starting to slowly back out here. They're going to have to rethink this round from their spawn. They look to set their sights on A.
They did not like what happened last round, and they showed it. Has so much damage done to RME. Just absolutely destroyed at the start of this round. Zarfi goes down, Soria goes down. And now that a few of your really good players, it does kind of feel like it's up to Pug here, as both of the other players combined for 1 kill so far in this game. We'll definitely see how it does end up, as they're going to start rotating over after they hear this plant go down. It's a 5v3, definitely still doable, as Pugs has that Hunter's Fury, but that Rolling Thunder probably going to be committed as well. So I mean, this should be a free site take for Pandas, but we'll find out as the Neural Theft does show.
Ellie has struggled a lot in this matchup so far, but she's finally made her way to a post-plant situation, and perhaps this is where she's gonna shine. The Rolling Thunder does go through. It's going to cause a lot of issues here, but inside the smoke, Ionic is not quite checking Ellie's position, so it's going to have to be a 1v5, and manages to get 1, but not able to get any more from that. It is right back to winning ways for PandasQT.
Unfortunately, didn't want to just not spray there, just saw the player, but had so much opportunity to maybe find a double kill with the spike planter, which could have caused a huge confusion for Pandas, but just didn't stop with the gun. Wanted to find their first pick, and unfortunately, that will give another round to Pandas. It's 5-1 on defense. They still have the operator. They are looking phenomenal in this game so far, and I do want to point out a player that we haven't really talked about so far. On the unorthodox pick, Crispy, 4-1-8. On this fade, has 8 assists and looking huge so far in this game, helping out the team so much, as RME, free B site.
Yeah, but the plant doesn't go down. Ellie quick to be dispatched by Foolmonger, and it's just a fast retake onto it. They're completely disrespecting these RME's players as they push up and absolutely bulldoze the B site before that plant can even go down.
That looked like so much potential for just a moment, then Fullmonger says goodbye. That's a 3k for me. Of course, we did see a 2k there for Soria, actually able to find V-Riddle with the op, but they're able to pick it right back up. Easy round for this team, and they're just looking unstoppable so far. They definitely had a very good talk between this game during the pause, and I'm really impressed with what we're seeing the bounce back from this team. But now I want to see what RME can do, as 3 of their players combined for 3 kills on the bottom of their team. We need to see a bit more from them. We need to see some more teamwork. We need to see what they can do. Maybe call another timeout at the end of this half because they are just not looking the best.
Oh, what a trip setup as well here from Bullmonger. It's going to collect 2 kills alongside of Crispy. So now it's a 3v4 after the dust settles here for RME, and they're once again reconsidering their options. They're starting to back off. Every time they've tried to hit a site, it feels like they are repelled and have to go back to their spawn. Saria, though, has gotten a lot of distance on B here. Will she be ready for Ionic is the question. Yes, she is. So a foothold has been found, and Doggy adds to it as well. So they've secured this A site off the back of Saria's lurk. They're gonna get that plant down and find themselves in a favorable position.
The lifeblood of this team this game is doing so well, and it does look like they're just gonna save here, because I don't think Riddle wants to try and retake with this op whatsoever. Rushmonger might be looking for some more damage, but either way, this round is almost 90% going towards RME, unless, I mean, Pandas do something absolutely crazy, which I would not be surprised at this point, let's be honest. But either way, huge there. We saw Doggy to also get a kill short, which actually propelled them to go to A. As I mean, Rushmonger just gonna look for damage.
Yeah, just wants to try and take out some of these players, but caught in a 3-way crossfire is not going to get any of that. So V-Riddle is just left saving this op. Won't be contested in that effort. It will go through into the next. But 3 players surviving bodes well for RME's economy.
Yeah, and I mean, look at their ultimates as well. Soria's lockdown up into orbs as well. This could be really good for RME to try and get some late rounds. Maybe, of course, get it to like 4 or 5. I don't know about 6 at this point, but I can definitely see it's possible. I just need to see some good ults here from Zerfy, from Pugs. I mean, even Ella. Elle needs to find something here with anything, really, with the Blade Storm, hopefully. 1 and 8 on the Jet, just not enough for your duelist.
I mean, yeah, it has been a rough game for Ellie, but if RME can start to find momentum in the latter portions of this map, perhaps things could go their way. But right as I say that, it'll be RME that feel the weight of the caster's curse this game. They lose their player early on, and now it's exposed that they're going towards the C site, right into a Cypher setup as well. They managed to deal with one of the trips, but there's still one in the site that could cause problems, and that haunt pings out some of these players. They managed to hold strong for it. Dog Eater and Pugs combined for 1 apiece, but the spike is on the other side of the map. They do have the From the Shadows, though, so it will be recovered. Tragedy avoided, and that could have been bad if they did not have the Omen ult up. Rhodes, you call it useless, too.
I mean, it's useless for 90% of the game until it's useful. The ultimate's only useful sometimes whenever you use it to just get like vision or something, and then you need it the exact next round. It is a funny situation, but does have it there, able to use it the one time.
Dude, there's no worse feeling as an Omen player of like when you use it for info on a site hit, and then the next round spike is in no man's land.
I mean, huge round there, though. I really like what they're able to do getting on site. We just saw Doggy to finally get some confidence in these rounds, able to find a bit more. And, I mean, not much ultimates used either. I mean, they're just kind of keeping them in their pocket. I don't know if they're saving them for a rainy day or what, but, I mean, Soraya's still off too, which is fine. But Zerfy and Pugs still have their ultimates. I'm pretty sure Pugs has had his Hunter's Fury, or had her Hunter's Fury for at least 5 rounds by now. So I know they're winning these rounds, but we need to see them used.
So hard. This has been counting. Yeah, I mean, they have been holding on to these ults for quite a bit of rounds, though, all things considered, and they are starting to stack them up. So it's going well for now, but we're approaching the end of the half here. You do have to start sending them out. Like you said, maybe they're saving them for a rainy day, but at this point, especially Zerfy, that Rolling Thunder can really secure you rounds sometimes, but it doesn't look like they really need it. They just absolutely decimate Pandas in this round, and it's now a 2v4 post plant. Reshmonger does have a decent position to come up on this flank. Not even spotted out by the turret as well. Could slip through here. Ooh, will you be spotted by the turret? It's such an awkward. You could teleport. You could teleport. Or throw
could
a
also
smoke on
smoke
it.
yeah.
There's so many things that could be done here. You're just gonna jump on top of it instead. Oh man. And so now the position is noted. Could have potentially gotten something, but instead this round will fizzle out. Riddle is once again gonna be left saving the op.
Something I really like what Army's doing, and it has nothing to do with what Army's doing, but Riddle's found zero things with this operator. They just keep going to different sites and will get it down too. That is a huge end of round pickoff, and now they have no money essentially heading into next. Only Ionic can buy this round, and that's going to call for the timeout, which is absolutely dangerous to end this half here for Pandas.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Reshmonger in that situation because I know why they didn't want to smoke or TP. They didn't want to give up the audio cue because there is a chance to hear it. Still, it feels. I mean, that feels like such an awkward situation, and at that point, I feel like you just smoke the turret and just hope and pray that maybe it's not heard and reacted to. Because if they hear the smoke, they're gonna hear you jumping over the turret as well.
And now the money is stacked up here for RME, and I mean, all of this Panda's money is essentially gone now. They had such a huge advantage. It was 6-1. Now it's 6-4 with all the advantages in RME's favor. The only ultimates that they can really use that isn't situational is that Nightfall for Crispy, but they've never been in a situation to actually use it. They keep falling down early in these rounds, and it's kind of felt like the opposite of what we saw early in this game. And now that the rounds are continuing, we're kind of seeing some struggle from this Pandas team that we saw on Lotus. So I want to see them pull it back and see what they can do as RME, they're starting to build it back up. It's been a lot of Saria and Pugs, but I mean, you could say the same thing on the other team right now, as Riddle kind of has been the lifeblood in the first couple rounds, and now that hasn't found much with the operator. It's looking a bit rough, but the Bladestorm looking to come online.
Yeah, that orb will be secured, and the Bladestorm will be popped. Fullmonger, the Bucky inside of Garage. There are a couple of set plays here that could possibly be something for Pandas to work with, but it relies a lot on what RME are going to be doing throughout this round. They've set their sights on mid. That does bode possibly well for Fullmonger if they choose to go into Garage alongside of it, but instead they set their sights on B. Crispy is starting to push up through a main here, though, so a lot of information secured. Spotted out by the alarm bot, though. It's gonna give away this flank. It's doubled up on, though, and Crispy manages to hit the shot. Riddle goes down, so Crispy has to step up once again and does exactly that. Manages to take 2 kills before they are felled. And Ellie is gonna be put down to 3 HP as well. Ionic could be ahead of this rotate. There's no smokes as well for this heaven position. Ionic, if you're fast enough, you can completely dismantle this round, and that's not quite what's gonna happen. The shots aren't landed. Flash is sent out. Pugs on low HP as well. Multiple of these attackers feel so weak right now, and Ellie's spotted out by the neural theft, but thankfully Saria manages to get the kill on Ionic and doubles up against Reshmonger as well. Beautiful shots from Saria to keep her team in this round.
Saria absolutely saving this RME team right now. They're making quite a bit of scary mistakes that they are able to capitalize on. Ellie will find the final kill in that one. And I mean, great round there again. And once again, the ultimate used there was from Saria. Not the rest of the team, but from Saria. So good on them.
That sets up RME for this final round really well. Look at the ultimates available, specifically that Rolling Thunder and that Hunter's Fury. That could be such a massive part to this round if they let it rip, and there's no reason not to. They can take a site almost for free with the Rolling Thunder, and that Hunter's Fury on the post plant could be a massive benefit as well. It could be what secures them this round, and with it tying up the half. Riddle, though, is getting aggressive with this op, dashes forward and is punished. A bit of a miss input there, and Zerfy is gonna capitalize off of it. The Nightfall goes out, and it actually misses all the players, I believe, as well. They've managed to sidestep the utility from the defenders, and look at Saria once again on an aggressive lurk here, but it's being watched. She manages to win the fight though. Reshmonger is quick to respond inside of mid. B is under assault, and Foolmonger playing passive in A link will get the kill. It's a 3v2 here for RME as it's Zerfy stranded in the B site, no support, and so now Pugs is left in the 1v3 to try and pull this off. There's so much going against her. With that camera confirming her position as well, it's only gonna get worse. Pushing up onto Foolmonger, gets some shots but not able to land the kill, and it's not gonna pan out. It's a 7-5 half.
The Monger duo get 2 apiece to secure a 7-5. I mean, finally able to win a round against Army, which looked so rough. I do want to say the Rolling Thunder was never used, but thank God Pugs finally used the Hunter's Fury. Found absolutely nothing with it, I'm pretty sure, but I don't care. Use the ultimate. Huge for Army. Either way, I do want to say Army, they got 4 rounds there in the last 6, or they got 4 rounds there in the last 6. That is huge for them to actually make it 7-5. Now that they're on defense switch, I mean, again, is the disadvantaged side. They can definitely do what Pandas did. They can maybe go on a run, look to get a lot of rounds. And I'm definitely interested to see how it does all play out. And I want to see what they can do here, as Ellie needs to have a better half this time around. 4-9, didn't have the best start, had a pretty decent second half. So I want to see what she can do here on this Jet and try and find some good picks here.
I'm interested to see how Saria is going to be playing in this half personally, because now she is on the half where her agent can thrive. That could be a problem for the side of Pandas if she's able to keep the momentum that she's had going into this defensive side. Zerfy, under a lot of pressure here, is forced to fall back. Pugs is trying to support and will get there, but too late, and the players will fall. The A site is under attack here, and that plant will be going down. Ellie, though, is still inside of A main here, and I don't know if this will be accounted for as well. The tap comes through. Crispy trying to bait out some reactions from the defenders here, but they don't bite. And so now Ellie has managed to creep all the way up sewer. Could be the linchpin for this round. She's able to just get ahead of the attackers here, but no, caught out as Reshmonger looks back. Saria is now going to be the spearhead of this assault as the dynamic changes here for the defenders on the retake. They just have to barrel forward, isolating these kills in hell, but they can't find the players at all. Crispy doubles up, and the pistol goes the way of PandasQT.
A 3K for Crispy will bring them to 10, 6, and 11. Huge on this fade. Something, like we kind of mentioned earlier, unorthodox, not something you usually play. You always see a Sova, and I'm really impressed with the play we're seeing from them. As, I mean, just very useful in these rounds, and on these pistols especially. That is their third pistol in these last 4 in the series so far. So I really like how Pandas play it. But overall, that was huge look back there from Reshmonger, actually realizing that, hey, there could be a flank, and it worked out for them ultimately, and that will give them this round. Now, hopefully, they don't fall victim to you-know-what, as we've already done it to them before.
Oh, no way! Zerfy gets a double jumping right click. It is so many issues for this round. Dude, okay, Rhodes, you need to stop saying that.
They think they're so
No way!
Alright, guys, thanks for watching the broadcast.
Are you kidding me? Dude, how does Zerfy get 3?
I expect a pay raise from Giga for helping his team win as the broadcast cursed. Thank you all for watching.
No shot. The 3K from the classic is absolutely wild there. And now Pandas are completely shattered economically. RME suddenly have bounced back in this half, and they could start to run away with it.
But hey, we have to remember there's still a 2-round lead for Pandas. They can definitely still hold on, but the economic advantage definitely is super far now in Army's favor. Unless they pull something that Pandas did in the last part of the half, this definitely does look like their advantage.
I just apologize to Pandas as well. What do I do now? Like,
we get on our knees and
yeah,
beg.
I was gonna say, do we have to grovel and beg for forgiveness at this point? Oh, absolute tragedy for Pandas as they're now having to salvage together any kind of buy here. They have a Sheriff on Riddle, which does well to get one, but everybody just gets mowed down. You're lucky Zerfy didn't get that classic out, or else it would have claimed more kills.
Wait.
Surely this is brought to a 2v2 though. This could be winnable. And both the defenders are retaking from Garage as well, which means these attackers can link up together. They're able to play off of each other now. It's isolated by Ellie, but taken, traded back, and Pugs with just, I was gonna say just a little bit of HP, but actually it was the Breach who had barely any HP, manages to pull through. That is sketchy though for RME.
That is really scary. Maybe so close for us not needing to beg for forgiveness, as I mean their money is still looking fine. They don't really care if they get taken down a lot there because they're
We're
almost
gonna get a lot of
maxed.
enemies today potentially.
I mean, we're just bringing over all the enemies from HDSS over to RME now, and now we just have double.
Dude, it's been bad. Have we casted a single series that didn't have the curse? I don't
I
think we
believe
have.
later of the season of HDSS, but
No,
besides,
no. I mean for this league.
oh no, it's happened. It's happened twice.
Happened every game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Ellie does manage to get one with the op here. Zerfy goes down, so the heroics from 2 rounds ago, I was gonna say the last round, it does feel like the last one, despite being really close, kind of breezed by. Still, this is just so... Look, I don't want to say that Pandas feels defeated, because I'm sure they're not. I'm sure their mental is stronger than that, but it kind of gives that vibe. They've slowed down a lot on their attack here, and it just feels like they're not playing with the gusto that you would expect with how their first half went. Pugs manages to get a kill from Heaven here, so this A site is being picked apart slowly but surely. These attackers have not been able to find a foothold, and there's still a player isolated in it as well. As everybody falls, it's all left up to one lonely Breach. It's Ionic inside of A main, does have the spike and does have 30 seconds to work with here. All the defenders are on A. This 1v3 is doable in theory. One off the Rolling Thunder as well. This could pan out beautifully for Ionic as long as they play it right. Nano Swarm though is gonna tag a lot of damage.
Yeah, and I mean that is a blind nanostorm too. Soria had no idea where he was, and I mean Ionic just absolutely damage done. He's gonna invest the Rolling Thunder. That is crazy.
Wants to rip it early as well, but that sonar dart is going to get so much information. They identify that Ionic is towards stage, which means their Garage player can just push out and confirm that they are locked in there. This round goes the way of RME, and the Rolling Thunder is lost for the attackers as well.
Yeah, I don't know what drugs Ionic was taking there. I don't know if that's a mental boom or what, but it is a tie game now. RME are in the driver's seat. Their money is looking quite good comparatively of the Panda side, and that decision making definitely gonna hurt Panda's attack, like you said. So I wonder how the rest of this will actually turn out, as I mean, we're just seeing the kind of same attack that Pandas had last game, just kind of just limp and just not good enough. They're not showing enough. They're not doing everything they did on their defense, and it is just eating them up, as we're going to see Doggy to actually take a very aggressive angle, and I'm not sure that they're going to be expecting it whatsoever.
Shout out to Pugs in the post of the last round, drawing a heart for us, for Twitch chat and us production here. You know, shout out to them. And I mean, this round is once again going RME's way, and Doggy to collects 3, Ellie with 1 as well. It's all left up to Fullmonger, and the 1v3 manages to get 1, but will surely be spotted out from Pugs here and tagged up as well. The Rolling Thunder would feel a bit extra, or not the Rolling Thunder, the Hunter's Fury would feel a bit extra. I'm assuming that's what you meant when you said do it. Yeah, that would feel a bit extra. The spike is in the hand of Fullmonger though, so once again, we're in a situation like the last round where there's a sole attacker left. and they have a lot of map to work with. They have a lot of time to work with. This time, though, it's a 1v2. So is this perhaps doable for Foolmonger? Will be given the plant. Hunter's Fury doesn't find a mark, but the Nano Swarms do. Surya has been so good at finding damage with these Nano Swarms from across the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's blind too. Now we have to see what Foolmonger decides to do. Has cleared out their spawn a bit. Will be actually heard, or should have been heard, I believe, from Pugs and Surya. So now not in the best position. Has the cam though, so we'll see how it plays out.
Only Sonar Dart gets thrown out. That's going to confirm that the player is long. Surya is just going to stick, not even going to react to the camera. That's the correct decision. As Foolmonger is taken out, Pugs just sticks the defuse, and it's looking really good for RME. They've bounced back beautifully.
A lot of these 1vx situations here from Pandas, there's the player is so frazzled that they're just making very weird decisions, actually opting to go long, gets heard running around, and then it's just so free for them as Pugs can just shoot out the recon dart, able to find Foolmonger as they shoot it, and then they can just stick it. It's just very weird decision making from this team so far, not really thinking about what they're doing, and it is definitely abusing them as they're going to be looking to go A here and just hope for something to get back in this game.
Good old Blade Storm popped, wants to get aggressive on A long here, and toss out 2 shots, but they won't hit the mark. So now Ellie is the person that we start to put our eyes on here in Sewer. The op is trained on this A short angle. Attackers are just on the other side of the wall. It's a waiting game between these two teams right now. One waiting for the overextension from the other. Nothing is given by RME, and eventually we're gonna have to see some movement from the attackers. It will happen. Riddle takes out Pugs at long, but Ellie is quick to respond, removing Ionic from the round. That's a good pick to get against the attackers. The breach being gone means a lot of the bite from these executes is removed. So now Crispy, looking to lurk inside of this garage, is tasked with flushing out Surya, who's just waiting passively in this CT angle, waiting for their moment to strike. It will not come for now, though, as spotted out by multiple pieces of utility, just held into this position. I don't know if she's spotted by this camera, not quite, but as the smoke fades, she's spotted out, she's pinged, but Dogita and Zerthia on the other side of the map managed to get one apiece. It's traded back, but it's all up to Foolmonger in the 1v3. Manages to recover a rifle, and Ellie is aggressive on the angle with the Blade Storm's camera in her face. She is not flinching. It's a wraparound to Garage. Foolmonger gets one, but not able to get any more. It's double digits for RME.
Yeah, and Dogita with a 3K will secure it as well. Huge for RME as they have the 2-round lead. They have the 5-round going 6 as it is just not looking good at all now for Pandas. They are frazzled, they are confused, and they are looking to potentially get 2-0'd right now as Zerfi has a Rolling Thunder to use in these post plants. It's looking so good for RME in this late half of the game. We need to see something now out of this Pandas team. We need to see either a timeout or a prayer, as this operator from Ellie is going to look to go huge.
Yeah, definitely. Riddle caught by a early fault line here is going to stifle the push out of A main here, and Pugs is there to collect one. Ellie on the updraft angle as well. Doesn't quite land the shot. Went for a spam right as Ionic picked. So a little bit of unfortunate timing, but the attackers still are backing off and respecting the operator here. Instead, they want to set their sights towards C. They start to clear out Garage, but Dogita is in this window trying to get an angle, and that smoke is going to give them even more space to work with as they set up for a flash to help their team. Spotted on the other side of the smoke is Foolmonger. They'll go down, and it's a 3v4 for the attackers here as they're trying to get into this B site. The Rolling Thunder will completely shut down this push, and Surya through Garage is gonna drop the spike and get yet another kill. Ionic is left in the 1v3. No spike in hand, has to go all the way around, and it's no chance in this round, surely. So they have to double back towards this A link being held by Dogita, who's been lights out in this map and will close out the 11th.
Yeah, Doggy, especially after the team started winning rounds, was definitely just bulldozing this team right now, finding multi-kill after multi-kill after multi-kill, and is looking good. Went from 1-6, 1-7 to now 14-13, and it is spiraling. As I mean, just able to find these kills, and I'm not liking what we're seeing again from Panda. They're trying stuff out, and it's not working. They'll buy up again. This is going to be their last buy. They're going to keep forcing until it's over. Fullmonger does have that neural theft, but I mean, they have to get a pick to do that. And so far in these rounds, they have not been able to, as it's all up to Pugs now on this A site, left alone. This should be free unless they play it super slow.
I mean, it feels like the turning point for this match was that second round curse, right? Ever since then, it is, I believe, just been all RME. Yeah, they have not lost a round since then. It does feel like it was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back in this series. Now, it's not quite over, but it's still not going well here for Pandas as they lose a player on the site. It's a 4v5, and it's going to get worse as Ellie just dashing into the site. Combat Op is at the ready, and a tap on the defuse. Fullmonger can't find the spam, and taken out by Saria. It's match point for RME.
I think it's like 4 rounds in a row where it's Fullmonger or Ionic or something 1v3, just can't do anything on the slow flank or just slow play. And it is just tragic as RME have completely taken over this game. This timeout is way too late. I mean, they're going to try something. They need a prayer. They need 4 rounds. And I don't know if it's enough at this point. I don't think their needs are here as Saria and RME have just completely destroyed this game. I mean, we'll see what they can cook up here, as it does look like the pings are coming through the B, potentially going B to C, but I don't think it's enough as this team is just looking so good compared to how they looked at the start of the first half.
Yeah, definitely. And now it's going to have to be 4 straight just to push it to overtime here for PandasQT. They're looking down the barrel of a 2-0 blowout here, and man, it has just felt so good from RME Aurora. Okay, all right, take 3.
You got this.
Aurora. There we go. Let's go. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been a great defensive half from them, but I feel like a lot of it is off the back of that second round curse. Ever since then, it has not felt the same from PandasQT, and I don't know if it's necessarily what broke their mental, but it does feel like it sort of stifled their confidence, and now it has snowballed into what seems to be a complete collapse from the team. Now, it's not over yet. They do have a chance here, and got an awkward buy, but some weapons that could make the difference. 2 Vandals, a Guardian, a couple of good shots. They could turn this round on the head.
We mainly have to look to Riddle here, though, with the Vandal. Does have the half armor, but has found a lot in this game and needs to be the savior, as they will be having a freebie site, like I mentioned earlier in the timeout. Will they go to C, though, is the question. No, they're committing.
And Saria manages to get caught out, so it's an early advantage here. That spike still hasn't gone down. That does call into question where this round will go a little bit, and overextended there is Riddle. Dog Eater takes them out. Crispy quick to respond, though. It's kept at an advantage for the attackers as they start to rotate towards this C site. They know that the Killjoy is down, so that they don't have to worry about the utility that is set up there. So now Zerfy trying to push up. Pugs, a great clear on Ionic. Beautiful awareness to bring this back to a 3v3, and Crispy is low as well. So
not the spam.
The spam could be problematic. Crispy can go down with just 1 to 2 shots through the smoke. They don't have a lot of utility to try and stall out the defuse as well, and Zerfy is re-clearing garage here now. Rushmonger is re-aggressing it as well, and the time is starting to tick down here as that haunt goes out and pings some of these players. It's gonna be a bit awkward here. The flank from garage is quickly snuffed out by Ellie, who head on a swivel gets 2, and the spike is to half, but it's held by Crispy, who is just on this long ammo with the Guardian, and so Pandas stay alive.
That was looking really scary as Rushmonger, their whole plan was based off of them and then wasn't able to find the pick. But I mean, Crispy able to finish off with the 2K and just off the distraction, really. was able to find the rest of the kills. I really like that setup there. We've seen that before from Boba, and I'm sure we'll see it quite a bit more as it is such a good spam spot. I was really questionable about that smoke in general because it was actually placed behind where the plant was. Usually you would place it off C-Long, but they decided to just put it there, able to just play off of their Omen player, and it did work out. Even though it was risky, they were able to find the pick. Now their buy is a bit better than last time. They have 4 Vandals, a lot of half armors, but either way, they're able to play it a bit better now. Ellie still has that operator looking towards B, could potentially find Fullmonger here, but the timing's not in the favor just yet.
RME able to fully buy up because of their streak of rounds. Their economy is perfectly fine, even with the operator investments. If they lose this one, it does start to get a little bit sketchy. Some players can buy, some cannot, and at that point, it's up to RME how they want to play out the economy. As for now, it's going to be the C site execute once again here from Pandas. There's a Nightfall to back it up. But Saria in the site alongside Dog Eater managed to get 1 apiece, and they can't quite stay alive for more though. So it's brought to a 3v3 after the dust settles. Prays back and forth as Pugs manages to get one. It's a 1v2 here. Reshmonger set up to succeed in this post plant though. Gets 1 kill onto Pugs and teleports out to Long. Zerfy, can you just hold this defuse? It's not planted properly. It could be just stuck here, but pushing up. Reshmonger is aware and manages to stop that defuse from coming in. They stay alive 1 more round.
Okay, so I really like what Zerfy did there. Recognized that it wasn't planted for him, but he just kind of looked away and just said, hey, you're not going to peek out. But, I mean, Freshmonger called the bluff, pushed, and able to find the kill. And I do want to say as well, that was such a weird round because they actually had to invest the Nightfall and the Rolling Thunder there. And it hit a few members of their own too, so a lot of messy plays on that C site. Definitely a lot of picks that shouldn't have gone their way. Now, both of these teams have very similar buys. Of course, Riddle with his Guardian is a bit worse. So we'll have to see how it all sets up.
Rhodes, during the break, you called me out for calling it a comeback only 2 rounds in. But what can I say? I'm a believer, and I am on the comeback train right now for Pandas as they've managed to mount 2 and are only gonna have to get 2 more to push this to overtime. Ionic, who's been really strong throughout this series, goes down without anything. Oh no, I'm so sorry.
He's looking for a raise.
Please no.
Daria just wants to look for a raise here, and
Saria throws out the lockdown from Garage. This puts a lot of pressure on the attackers, but look at this pivot. They're starting to move towards this A site. Zerfy with a heads-up gunfight here against Fullmonger, loses it. So now this A site is vulnerable. Pugs has to stand strong, but Riddle manages to take them out. It's gonna be a detain on Crispy, but they don't know where they are. And so now they have to invest so much time to try and flush them out. And with that neural theft, it is so much for the Lurker to play with. She knows that she is undetected and is able to just push around this A link. This could be what shuts down the round for RME as Dog Eater is caught out with the paranoia. Saria trying to enter the site, but is blinded, spotted up. But Ellie with the double from up top needs to get 2 more to pull off this clutch. She's managed to get the spike tapped. She's isolating these fights. It's just back and forth between both these players. Fullmonger is so low, spammed out, but the time, it's too far gone. Ellie can't pull it off. Crispy with the lurk is the linchpin of the round and will get the closer. We're gonna need all 24 rounds of regulation.
oh my god, what a crap fest as Ellie almost with a huge clutch to finish off the game, but it doesn't come. And like you said, we need all 24 rounds. We're going to need everyone to use every single bit of economy that's left. And that
really
does.
Bad when they lost the opening pick, man. I was like,
I swear, man. I swear.
Really bad. But luckily, they're able to stabilize a great mid-round from Pandas, all things considered. All jokes aside, that was an amazing read. Yeah, that was an amazing read and pivot off the back of the lockdown, and great gunfights won. However, RME, they want to get aggressive up mid here. They've lost Saria inside of an aggressive peak mid, but managed to find themselves in window. This is a very awkward situation. They're just trying to crunch this A site. They've got a lot of angles to deal with though, and it's gonna cost them Zerfy. They do secure the man advantage. They've got the spike. This is a weird round for the attackers because now they have to start trying to isolate these kills. Ionic with the frenzy manages to take out Ellie, and it sets them up to re-clear window here. It's only 2 players from RME to stave off overtime. Dog Eater is once again looking to reaggress where so many of their fallen comrades have been put down. Riddle posted on the angle. Pugs is looking to be the first contact here, and it's going to be a back off from Riddle. They're playing for Fullmonger. It's just tucked into this corner. So good from Pugs though to clear that out, and Dogita's in heaven now. Only 30 HP, so Dogita, what do you have? Your teammate is not going to have much of a say in this round, surely. As Dogita goes down, we're going to find overtime.
You called the comeback, it came. It was looking scary. It was looking scary. But
they pushed overtime. I think we can fairly say I didn't curse them if they go overtime, right?
You know what? Sure, at this point, why not?
Let's go.
Now we're heading back to RME on attack, which was very bad earlier in the game, and then definitely picked up quite a bit to actually get them to this point right now. So I'm looking to see what they can do as it's kind of reset. I think their momentum is back in this favor of this Pandas team, so I wonder what they're actually going to be talking about. It does look like the bomb is towards this A site, but RME has liked to do this this kind of poke and prod, then switch over to a different site. So I assume that is definitely what we're going to see, as Riddle is the main focal point, at least in my mind, to try and win this round for this Pandas team.
Yeah, momentum's very much in favor for Pandas. It's now RME who have to pick themselves up and dust themselves off if they want to close this in a 2-0 fashion. They've been beaten and bruised, but they're not quite defeated, and I don't expect them to just roll over in overtime as well. It's gonna still have to be a fight all the way for Pandas to pull off this comeback. Ellie is looking to entry up the site, found better form in the second half, and perhaps can translate that into their attack, but Reshmonger is on fire right now. Ionic, though, goes down, a double kill in garage from Dogita, but the defenders stabilize beautifully. It's all left up to Pugs in the 1v3, and she's spotted out by the Jet as well. No spike in hand either, and brought down to 30 HP. This once again feels like an unwinnable clutch for her, as these defenders are just holding steady, not giving her any opportunities to recover this. She does manage to isolate the kill on the Riddle, and if she knows that both these players are in garage, she could manage to work this around. Manages to recover this spike, taps it, Fullmonger peeks out, but it's not anything that's given over. The Haunt sent out, confirms that the plant is not being stuck. Yet another tap. Pugs is just trying to bait these players out, and they are giving the 1v1s. Pugs all of a sudden could clutch out this one round. Another tap, but it's a turn from Crispy to keep things from turning into tragedy for PandasQT.
Pandas are making me sweat with these almost throws they keep doing, as Pugs did find the little pokes and prods. They're able to just bought some members out, saw that Riddle was doing some crazy things, found one. Fullmonger pushed all the way out, found another, but just couldn't find the last. And I mean, just huge so far. And I mean, Pandas, they found the round win at the end of the day. This is overtime. It doesn't matter how many of you fall, at least you win the round. As Echo needs to call some hope for this RME team. They need to find something. Their defense has looked quite good in this game, but towards the end, they completely lost it. So we'll definitely see what they decide to do here, as, I mean, their retakes have been quite good, but I really like what Pandas were calling at the end of that last half. So we'll definitely see how it does pull their momentum forward.
I don't know if you could tell from me getting further away from my microphone, but I was out of my chair for that 1v3 attempt, and I thought that Pugs got the timing, but a great flick from Crispy keeps them from fumbling that round, and now they have match point as they transition on to attack here. The defense has been the stronger side, ironically, for Haven, though, so it's not quite over for RME, but that momentum is so firmly in the control of PandasQT.
And once again, these rounds are going to kind of fall between a few players. If Army wants to win, I'm really looking at Saria or Pugs here, because they have been the main focal point of this team so far. Yes, we've seen a bit of dog eater, but I just really like what Pugs and Saria has done over the early rounds. So I'm really looking to them to try and tie this game back up and give themselves another chance to potentially 2-0 this Pandas team.
You can tell Pugs is feeling that they've been doing really well. The confidence to push up here ahead of Ellie, even though it's more of a supporting character, and Ellie manages to collect the kill. Pugs chooses to just fall back alongside her teammate, as they know that they've secured an advantage in this round. The spike was dropped, but it was quickly recovered by the attackers. However, the man advantage has been secured. They can start to play this a bit more passively. They can start to find the holes in this attack as well if they so choose. Saria kind of looking to potentially push up through garage here, but all these defenders have planted their feet. They want to just hold strong right now as Ionic starts to go in towards the garage. Saria will be tested. Crispy takes out Pugs. The corner is cleared from Ellie as well, so V Riddle manages to find a foothold in this round. A retake from Heaven early from Zerfi to try and cut this off, but they are going to be smoked off. It's going to be the 3v4 retake for the defenders. Can RME pull through, or will we be seeing the third map? As Riddle takes out Dog Eater, it is looking like we will be heading there. Zerfi is trying to stave off any kind of potential flank, but they need to start making their way onto the site here. They're going to take out that wire, start to close in on the site. A little bit of utility will be coming up in a few seconds. There's so little to work with. The fault line is thrown out as well, so Zerfi only has the gun to work with and doesn't even have that anymore. As everybody falls, it's going to be PandasQT securing their map pick of Haven and pushing us to a third.
We are heading right to sunset now, as like we wanted before, we want to see some close games, and that is as best as we can get, really, as a 14-12 victory for a very up and down Pandas team. Riddle absolutely doing so much work in that one, and I just really enjoyed what we saw and what the outcome was, because now we're heading to sunset. It is the decider, and Army will be attacking again, so definitely looking to get some revenge on that last game where it did feel like they unfortunately did fall at the end of it.
Yeah, we will be throwing it to a quick 5-minute break as we get ready for sunset. So stay tuned to see how this great matchup will pan out. We'll be right back.
Lost and found, but you don't care. You're unaware, keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air, like a blazing flare. Just stare, cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant atmosphere. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares through. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me, that's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas, oh you meant the world to me. Oh you meant the world to me. Oh you meant the world to me.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you. How long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you.
With
We are back with this absolute banger of RME Aurora versus PandasQT. Both of those 3-site maps are behind us now, and we move to Sunset now, as it takes all 3 to figure out who's the winner of this series is gonna be. Rhodes, are you ready for the conclusion of this series?
I'm not sure if I am at this point because we have seen some banger rounds in that last map that went absolutely crazy. That was a lot of fun to watch. The ups and downs, the emotion that we saw played, and we'll definitely see how Sunset go as we're going to see the 4 duelist hover, which
Yeah,
won't be it
Panda's
again.
taunting me again. It's not
Really?
fair. They know how to they know how to troll me. Okay.
You
Well,
know you can't play a Vi. I do want to see though what Pandas do this game because the first map they had a bad defensive start. The second map they had a good defensive start, and now that they're back on defense for try number 3, they have all the momentum heading into this one. I'm really interested to see what they pull out, and we're gonna see Ionic on that KO once again, which I'm very interested to see.
we also saw in the last map that Pandas is never out of a match. We kind of thought that they were done for in Haven. It seemed like their mental had been broken. They were on an awkward bye, but yet somehow, some way, they managed to string 4 together. And by the end of the match, they went 6 straight to win it.
I mean, you can even say the same type of thing about Army as well. They looked so bad at the start of Haven. They were down 6-1. It was looking doomed. And then they're able to string 4 together. They did lose a few in the row, but then the curse unfortunately happened. And then they got right back into it. And of course, like you said, Pandas were able to clutch it back, able to win 6 in a row to win out the map. But both these teams, they can go down early and then they can build a lead back up. Both of them can start having some lost rounds. They can start making a lot more mistakes than they normally do. And I really enjoy watching both these teams actually able to capitalize on all these errors and able to win a couple of these rounds that they shouldn't have beforehand.
Yeah, definitely. And as we're now looking towards sunset, hopefully both of these teams are still firing on all cylinders. We saw a lot of players stepping up in the last map. Riddle was absolutely huge to the success of Pandas in map 2, but players like Pugs and Saria managed to have a lot of impact despite being on more supportive roles. Now we see Pugs moving over to the Gecko and gonna possibly have a little bit more freedom than you would with the Sova. So, and I mean, Saria on the Cypher, we know that Cyphers can just absolutely run away with matches.
Something I do want to say too is that Riddle back on that jet went 7-2 for first kill, first death, had a 96 cast in that last map. Absolutely phenomenal performance. And something else that I do want to point out as well is that RME had a lot of individual efforts, I would say, in that last game, where on the other side, it felt like it was more of a team thing going on with Pandas, as so many assists were racked up. Crispy had 20, Ionic had 13, and Rushmonger had 10. On the other side of the pond, Army, their biggest was 12 with Zerfi and then 9 with Ida. You can just see the amount of assist difference and the amount of team difference that we saw. And now we're going to get another pause coming out as Army has some Wi-Fi cutout of Pugs. Not exactly what you want when they're one of your best players.
I mean, yeah, it's hopefully. I mean, RME, I believe, still have access to their full P10. I believe it was, I think it was Pandas who had the P10 last. Yeah. So okay, we just got confirmed by Ecstatic. So RME does have access to their full P10. Hopefully, within 10 minutes, it'll be figured out. It seems like just some minor Wi-Fi issues. I hope it's nothing more than that. And
Definitely be a letdown.
simple restart of the router, it'll be fixed. Yeah, it'd be a massive letdown. This has been a really good series.
Who would you say is your player to maybe like step up in this game to try and help
No
out their
charges.
team to do a lot more than they have previously?
I'm looking at Ellie. Ellie on the Rays right now could definitely find a lot of impact. And We saw her be kind of hot and cold last map. She started to pick up some momentum towards the latter portion, but I mean, that first half was really, really hard for her to get anything going. And honestly, if RME don't have that slow of a start on a player that can have so much impact, there is, I think, a lot of potential for the RME to put the nail in the coffin here.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely did not go the way they wanted to. But on the opposite side of things, as map one, it was a pretty good game overall for Ellie. It had a really good stuff going on that raise, and now that they're back on it, I'm really interested to see what they're able to get done here, as it does look like they want to go towards B, this RME team, or mid. Well, I mean, never mind, they're going towards mid. But I really want to see what Ellie can do here. Maybe find a crispy pick here.
Very possible as RME, they want to get an early foothold here, and they don't want to go straight to a site. Instead, they want to crunch it. They do have a player set up towards B main. That is none other than Dog Eater, who's going to try and crunch alongside of their team. This B site is seeming to be a lost cause for the defenders, but surely can be retaken as well, so that is always a possibility within this map. Pugs manages to get one kill before traded back, so now Ionic set up on the high ground is trying to peer over this smoke, can't find anything. Kill on Saria is managed to be isolated. Crispy gets a clean headshot with that ghost. With the haunt being back online, they could confirm that all these players are in the back of B main. He's gonna go out, tap on the spike. Crispy with another good shot has managed to equalize this man count once more. He's even gonna get a lot of damage. It's a 1v2 though. Both these players are one shot to the ghost. Fault line sent out. It's gonna be a double peek and RME secure the pistol.
I mean, so close there, but just the simple setup that you can do on Sunset is just so hard. And like we just got word from an observer, 13 health between the two last players. So hard for them to actually be able to clutch it out, and huge for RME to actually win that round and start out with a dub, because their pistols have not been the best so far in this game, but them actually being able to start off on a good in the series in general, but them being able to start off on a good start here is definitely super beneficial.
But I mean, we've seen how little a good start can matter in these series. It's not always been the telltale of how a match will go. Zerfy is going to go down early. It's traded back by Ellie, and a good crunch as well is going to allow them access onto this A site. It's going to allow the plant to go down as well. So now it's 4v3 post plant here, and Dog Eater is ahead of the defenders, manages to get a kill, back turn, and here's the weapon being picked up. Dog Eater will get yet another kill. It's all left up to Reshmonger, who is just a classic, can't manage anything. So the bonus, or rather the curse, is avoided.
I mean, against RME, they just don't get cursed. Dog Eater 3-0 now on that Omen, staying alive throughout all these rounds thus far. And that's what you need for Dog Eater. I think you need to have a good start, and because I feel like even last game, there was a lot of lows and the highs that did happen. So I would just want to see some more fleshed outness. I want to see some more momentum to maybe get online just a bit more for them, as I mean, RME, pretty simple round overall. They don't take too much damage, and they are looking good heading into this next one.
Flash, or Dizzy Flash rather, sent up into mid, and they're going to take out that door inside of Market early here. RME taking a very aggressive stance on this round with the lower weaponry. They want to try and overwhelm these defenders, but it's going to be Crispy to stand strong with a double. A great transfer for the kills here. Now Pugs sends out Wingman to try and at least get some plant money, something of value in this round, as so far it has been purely shut down. Plant will go down. It's a 3v5 post plant, and with lesser weaponry, it is a rough one to hold on to. They're going to triple up inside of this smoke, send the Dizzy through, and try and aggress onto the other side of it. It's a good shot. Dog Eater and Saria managed to combine for one apiece, and Pugs gets one as well. It's brought down to a 2v2. Defuse being stuck though. Foolmonger is just holding on to this, but it's taken out eventually. Spike is to half. Pugs in the 1v1 has the Vandal, manages to get Riddle off the defuse, but the smoke up is gonna gonna allow Riddle to play the mind games, taps the spike, strafes out wide, finds the shot, and gets the defuse. It's a hefty cost, but at least they avoid the bonus.
I really like that play from Riddle there, just playing the macro so well, has the smoke down, almost guarantees the mind of the other player that they are there, and then they run out of ammo. Easy kill for Riddle. Huge for Pandas, they get one. But like you said before, a hefty cost. Every single player falls down. Crispy, it doesn't matter how much you get there. The rest of the team just could not hold up to that really nice decision there from RME. They pushed Boba, able to find a few picks. And ultimately, I really like how they were able to set up that round, as it does look like RME are heading towards this ace site. At least that is where the bomb is thus far. A lot of utility sent from both sides, so a lot of people spot out, and RME will rethink their decision.
Yeah, Riddle is trying to get aggressive here. Wants to get a forward angle and manages to get a little bit of damage onto Surya. Ionic is actually going to manage to shut Surya down, so they've lost one of their players in this round, which means that there's a good chance for Pandas to get another round on the board, despite the awkward weaponry that is around them. Crispy goes down to Zerfy, but there's a good peek from Fullmonger to just keep things separated from this RME squad. And look at these A players. They're just kind of tucked in right now, and the Ionic manages to get yet another kill. It seems to know where the rest of the attackers are coming in from. Not able to win the fight, though. It's a 3v2 post plant for the defenders as they're trying to make their way forward. They're going to choose to double invest into this alley push. Fullmonger sending it up with this Phantom. Only the Phantom to work with, no armor to speak up for them, and that's going to end up being their downfall. It's now a 1v3 for Reshmonger, and there will be no Monger duo pulling off a clutch today.
Now the Mongers just decide to send one person in after another, and obviously they got punished. There's nothing you can really do about that. They have no kills to their name thus far, and that's definitely hurting them right now, as Doggy are now 6-1 on this Omen, looking really good. I mean, overall, RME, they're flying in this game. They send this Pandas team onto another eco. They have a Thrash, they have a Showstopper. They are ready for this round. Yes, you could say Crispy has that Nightfall, but I mean, there's almost no follow-up that this Pandas team can do right now. They are looking really good right now.
Yeah, definitely RME off to a strong start here, and we're once again gonna have a test of Panda's ability to rebound and bounce back into a match. Crispy manages to take out Ellie here, so that's a rifle secured, and possibly could be something that they can spearhead this assault with if they so choose to invest it. Surya has that flank locked down. They know that this is mostly a retake coming in from markets. They're just going to set up their post-plant positions accordingly. With this being so passive, though, this is possible if the spam doesn't manage to find. The Thrash going forward is going to secure this round, surely, as the smoke fades and all the bodies fall. RME are in a great position to collect this. On this list, we see some insane mechanics from Riddle, but as the time ticks low, RME know it. They just have to play together and stall out that clock.
I mean, RME will take a bit of damage there. Zerky will go down as well, but I mean, I don't think they really care at this point, as they are looking quite good heading into the rest of this. Dogita, I'll just keep updating his stacks. 8-1 now, looking really nice. I don't really like the double commit there they did with the Showstopper and the Thrash. It's just Showstopper, the thrashed person, the detained person, so definitely not the best utility piece there, but I mean, they secured another round. But now we have guns coming out. We got Riddle back on that operator. Unfortunately, it's on the other side of the map, as it looks like RME want to go straight mid.
Indeed they do. They've put a lot of presence on mid throughout this series, and it's boded well for them thus far. However, spotted out by the Haunt could be a bit of a problem, as they're eating quite a bit of damage through that smoke. Two players find themselves below 50 HP. And Ionic, with the null command popped as well, is looking to retake this market position. As Zerfi is dinked through the wall. So many of these players are finding themselves on such low HP, and it's gonna start to stack up. Saria, though, manages to get the kill onto Ionic, and Zerfi isolates Crispy as well. They can now pivot towards this A site. There's only Riddle to hold off against it, but a great peek from Foolmonger cuts it off, and Riddle is there to respond as well. Gets one as they try to enter the site, and now Saria, spotted out by the neural theft, is in such a brutal position, can't really support their teammate, and it's gonna all fall apart around RME. A great recovery. Saria manages to pull off an insane 1v2, has managed to get the first headshot to pull it to that, but these two players are playing so safe. They're playing off of each other. Spike has been recovered, though, slowly creeping back, but Riddle will get proactive on the angle and secure the round for Pandas.
Foolmonger absolutely saving that round as a great call for just a moment there from RME, able to push up mid. They find Crispy and other picks as well. It's a 3v5. It looks all but one, but Foolmonger able to peek out at mid or just at right beside Boba, my apologies, and just found them just not looking whatsoever. They weren't watching their back. They were just full sprinting it down, and it just blew up all in their faces. Riddle, of course, was pushed up through A main as well, able to just spot out whoever went through Link, and easy picks for them as Riddle is set up against with the top.
God, that was so close. RME do not know how much they were flirting with death there, and Ellie is just gonna send it into the site off the back of a rolling thunder. This site has been secured, but there's still 5 players alive on the defense. They could try and just barrel in for this retake, especially hearing that Spectre, or that Stinger rather, will give them surely some confidence to start and retaking this. It's 5v5. This is really weird because nobody has fallen, and in a matter of seconds, everybody is taken out. It's brought to a 2v2. Saria gets a double, but the knives popped here for Riddle. It's going to leave everything up to Pugs in the 1v2. It's looking great, though, as they get kill on Riddle and seem to have the read on the final player. Ionic, too low of HP to make it happen, and it's right back for RME.
A clutch for Pugs will make it 5-2, and oh my, that is a round you don't want to lose if you're part of Pandas. That looked so good for you for just a moment. Ionic made a bad play, could have killed Pugs beforehand, but just whiffed on the shots, and then it just spiraled out of control. Crispy will call a timeout, where it is not looking the best situation. Their economy is in such a weird spot right now. Their ultimates are nowhere near available compared to this RME team. Unless RME throw these rounds, they are looking so good heading into the latter half of this map.
I mean, this is a great start for RME right now. They've got to be feeling so confident here, bouncing back from Haven, and now they're on the precipice of locking this out. However, don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We know that both of these teams are capable in the clutch. They're capable on comebacks, and never want to count them out of this.
Yeah, I mean, we're just seeing so much right now out of some unlikely sources. Like Dogita hasn't had the best performances throughout the last 2 mats, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far. 8-3 now. Hasn't found too much success in the last couple of rounds, but I mean, just the amount of success earlier is definitely stacked up here. We're seeing Pugs able to play a lot better once again. And I mean, it does feel like so far on this Pandas team, we're not seeing the amount of teamwork, not seeing the amount of plays. Of course, it is a bit more difficult on Sunset, but we'll see what they decide to do at the latter half, as one gun is being brought into this round, and that is on Reshmonger. I'm definitely interested to see how they're able to use it as they're pushed up through mid.
You mentioned previously that it felt like too much reliance on hero moments from RME in the last map, and now look at their scoreline. It is so evenly spread out across their players, and they are definitely looking a lot better with that, as they've managed to find another plant in this half. However, as Reshmonger manages to get the kill on Saria, it is a man disadvantage. They have to hold off against the full force of this retake. They'll manage it well. Ellie gets a double front on top of the site, and Zerfy even managed to get one as well. So it's only 2 players remaining for the defenders, and they're both locked into the same position. They're slowly going to start to spread out, but that means they can be picked off 1 by 1. They will fall. Dog Eater gets the kill. It is all left up to Ionic, who can't do anything against Ellie. It is 6 on the board.
You may have said it was a player disadvantage, but all the guns were on RME's side. Rushmonger could not do enough to be with the team at the time they actually started to attack the site. So it was completely free, as did take that upper position on the box. So huge from RME, not taking much damage. Riddle will pick up an operator once again, but once again on the wrong side of the map. This RME team wants nothing to do with A right now, as they're going to look to potentially abuse these players on this B site or up through mid.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you said, they're going right up through mid. They've put a lot of pressure here. They once again have Dog Eater on the late lurk in B main, but usually they're just splitting out of market here, and it's been working beautifully. Reshmonger is set up on top of the market box, though, is wanting to dislodge these attackers. Spotted out by the Boombot, but not anticipated to be up top. Will collect a double kill. Ellie is able to respond, but not before Ionix shuts her down. So now it's all up to the last 2 players. It's Saria and Dog Eater, who have had a respectable series. Both now have to collect the pieces and the around the bodies of their teammates. Manages to retrieve the spike, but a beautiful peek and shot from Ionic. Gonna leave it all up to Dog Eater. Does have the From the Shadows, could choose to invest that if they really think that this is a winnable situation, but it's looking really rough.
Yeah, and Crispy's just jumping into will spot out Dog Eater, so it is even harder now that they know the exact location of this Omen, and Ionic will finish it with a 3K. I mean, you gotta think, even though Ionic got 3K, Rushmonger absolutely won that round for this team.
Yeah, able to hold off the attack inside of the market just long enough for the rest of their team to arrive and help the situation. And, well, I mean, it was pretty much just Ionic to arrive and help.
Either way.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's all they needed, right? It's what's referred to as a full house between the 2 of them.
I mean, that is a full house, yes, and I mean, very good round overall. I doubt they'll fall for it again, as they're probably going to check their corners next time, but will they check Riddle?
Ooh, yes, they do. Ellie has stepped up in this match. It's a beautiful shot. Showstopper is online as well if they want to invest it into the site hit. It's been an RME have to remember right now. Ellie, though, manages or goes down, and Zerfy's quick to trade. They look to get a 7th on the board here, and it's well maintained by Dog Eater. Beautiful coverage for the plant, and now it's all left up to Reshmonger, who's spotted out, being swung by multiple players, and as the Dizzy comes through, so will the kill.
A 3K for Dog Eater, as that one-way was beautiful to actually just not let them get anywhere near close to the site. It's 7-3 RME. Their economy is still looking not terrible, but I mean, Pandas is looking much worse, as we're going to get another weird buy. Onyx going to buy a Bucky, and the rest of the team will get guns. But either way, the ultimates are so far in the favor of this RME team, and so is the momentum, and so is the rounds.
Yeah, this is looking great for RME. They can use that showstopper to create a lot of space if they choose to do more of a slower paced round. Saria's Neural Theft can offer a lot of value as well. This is a great half for them, and they can honestly just continue to add to this unless we see some really spectacular moments out of the rest of this PandasQT lineup. They've managed to dig deep in situations like this. These awkward buys have kind of been where they've thrived at points, but a little bit of hesitation from Fullmonger is going to mean that they're going to find an early disadvantage. And on top of that, the Neural Theft is going to allow them to pick the weak site here. Saria manages to take out Fullmonger, doubling up on the round. The B site is secured. Rushmonger trying to get aggressive here, but Saria is able to close it out alongside of Ellie. There's surely nothing that Riddle can do to save this round.
That player right there from Fullmonger really shows how much confidence is left in the tank. Absolutely fell off the angle, just gave it completely up and died to Saria anyway. That is just the unfortunates of the rest of this game, and it is looking dire for this team. Can't even find Ellie either. Riddle having a bit of a struggle, but it doesn't matter. Huge round again for Army. They take no damage. They're heading into the final round of this half, looking absolutely on fire and full of confidence.
Yeah, they're going to have everything that they need going into this, and I believe that it should be mostly a buy. It's actually, Fullmonger is going to be a bit struggling a little bit in terms of economy. Actually, all of the team is struggling a little bit. It's light armors across the board if they want rifles, and might even have to forego some utility if they choose that option.
Yeah, it is a bad situation in every single way. They have no ultimates on the board. If they can get Crispy and Orb or a kill, that'd be really nice, but it doesn't look like they're setting up for it, as it's only Crispy on B. It does look like Rushmonger is coming over, but that's just going to cover mid, as it looks like most of the resources this round is all towards A, which is the correct call, because that's where every player is. But the question is, can they hold on, as this showstopper can find so much? Zerfy's going to pick up an orb, I hope, in a second as well. I really like the situation for Army.
They've gambled well with the stack, but like you said, that showstopper could cause a lot of problems if Army are able to find their mark with it. Ellie has been incredible throughout this half, and I can only imagine that it's only going to get better as we go. This round should be RME's all the way.
Yeah, we'll definitely find out how it does eventually go. Crispy, the only one near this site, will hear everything that's going on. I would not be surprised if they commit the Rolling Thunder they do, but they do their showstopper as well, a bit of a double. But won't find much of anything unless they overcommit a bit.
Oh no, you spoke too early. Ellie manages to catch Crispy in the smoke with the showstopper, and all of a sudden the defenders find themselves in a 4v5 retake with absolutely poor weaponry for the job as well. Only 2 rifles available. Riddle with a Guardian to try and spam any smokes. That's gonna be not ideal. There is a rifle recovered for Fullmonger, so they managed to upgrade to something that is competitive, but it's still such a brutal situation as they try to get onto the spike. They get taken out one by one. Pugs manages to collect 3 kills on the round, and this is an absolutely beautiful half from RME.
Do you believe in curses, Alderia?
You know what? Believe it or not, I was a bit skeptical. If you asked me like 3 months ago, not anymore.
Here's
I
the
have
problem.
seen plenty to be a full believer in curses.
Yeah, but here's the problem. We can't curse RME. We only curse this Pandas team, which I'm sure their fan base and everyone does unfortunately hate us, but it is just not looking good for them thus far. We need to see some sort of bounce back, especially from the Mongers, but really the whole team in general. There's not really one specific player that is playing really well. They're all just kind of falling, not really helping each other out, not really playing to their full potential, which definitely is the opposite that you can say from this RME team that is playing all together, all smart, and like you mentioned before, and like I mentioned before that, it's Army playing together now, not playing these one hero situations. They are a unit, and they are showing exactly why they have the potential to absolutely win the series.
We'll say this, it feels as though curses often strike in the most heartbreaking of circumstances, though, and this would be the most heartbreaking circumstance for RME to fall victim to one. And I mean, that Dizzy is not going to be recoverable inside of mid. It's a pivot towards this B site. 3 players stacked up in B main. However, they lack the mid presence that RME had consistently throughout the first half. It's going to make it significantly harder to execute out of that bottleneck. They're going to instead choose to start to look towards mid in A. They started to give this round a bit more thought than just a simple B exec.
And it does look like that Army didn't bite whatsoever, so it's actually Ellie still here, and they're going to find Crispy. That's a huge opening pick.
Definitely, Zerfi, great awareness there to get the timing and great shot as well to just remove Crispy from this round. And now Ellie tucked into Alley. Will it be cleared? It's actually decent chance it's not going to be cleared because the teammate is just playing for them. It's great shots from Zerfi. It's a great support from Ellie, and these attackers are falling. It is looking to be RME to put the nail in the coffin.
And the time is run out. 10-3 for RME, as I mean Ellie and Zerfi, they're just absolutely huge playing off each other. Fullmonger will find 4, but I mean, what, it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Hey, a confidence boost, a little bit of extra money possible. Well, actually, never mind. We kept the ghost, so actually not. Really money. Never mind. Yeah. You know, I take back my statement. I mean, with that situation, though, I do feel like you should sort of buy up here, right? Like, one of your players is down quite a bit on money, so probably
don't tempt them.
probably won't be able to get a full rifle buy in the 3rd round. So yeah, they're gonna just force up these stingers.
Oh, the camera.
Camera doesn't quite land, but with 4 stingers heading in one direction, these RME players could get overwhelmed very easily. Zerfi, once again, is going to possibly be the first one to hold off. But just a passive angle on the smoke means that Ionic is able to barrel through into the defender's spawn and take this B site from behind. It's now Zerfi who has to try and aggress up, and all of a sudden, everybody is falling. This force buy has worked beautifully, and the curse has started. It starts with a 2nd round loss, and now we could see an even bigger curse come through. The 9-3.
I mean, they chose the right site.
Am I too much of a believer? Am I too much of a believer for saying something like that?
I mean, you're always a believer. Let's be honest. Even at the worst
overzealous. Hey, we're building a storyline, right? Because like, here's the thing. I can accept being laughed at as like, he's believing in the clutch, right? What a goober. I can accept being laughed at that. But like, if I call this comeback, bro, I'm like a prophet, right?
And you've done this how many times, and how many times has it worked?
Okay, look.
Exactly.
I feel attacked right now. No, but all things considered, that is a good confidence boost here for PandasQT. They can now try and get some streaks going here on the attacking side, which is definitely what RME was doing. So maybe this map just favors the attack a lot, or perhaps it's just a matter of momentum. Surya, though, pushing up a beautiful double from the Sheriff, and even a dink on Ionic as well. This is not going the way that Pandas expected, I'm sure, as their bodies are all falling in mid. This is absolutely horrible for Pandas as everything falls apart inside of mid. It's RME to respond with a thrifty of their own. I'm sorry, Pandas.
Like I said before, thrifties is a deadly thing, and I mean, you could call that a caster curse of Algeria believing, because that is
Don't do
tragedy.
me like that, please. No,
that
hold
this Panda team just occurred. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, the small mistakes will cost you, and once again, Army will capitalize on it. It's 11-4. All the hope for this Pandas team is definitely falling. Even the Panda fans are starting to worry, I bet, as I mean, Algeria has completely destroyed the confidence of this game.
Man, like I'm gonna have to issue another formal apology, man. I think the worst part is I'm currently looking at my failure, right? Because we obviously have the delay on the stream, and I have the stream pulled up, and so now I'm looking at it, and people are like getting excited about about a pistol, or about Pandas pulling it back possibly, and they don't even know what's coming, and I feel really bad.
We're waiting for your departure in just a few minutes as we're getting back to this game. The timeout and a prayer for PandasQT. They need something. Their guns could be worse, to be honest, but armies are much better, and the ultimate
What a
is
flash
very
from
quick.
Ionic, and they're gonna try and get aggressive off that. Ellie, though, is strong on the angle, manages to take out Riddle. There's a punch coming in from the other side, but Ellie is too strong. Takes out yet another player, and she is on fire right now. Has really stepped up in this map. It is a far cry from what we saw on Haven. Foolmonger spotted out in mid, crunched upon. Pugs is the one to most likely secure this round unless we see something absolutely crazy from the rest of this team, and it has to be a 1v5 from the only player who had a rifle going into this round, Ionic. Only 50 seconds to play with. Shirley at this point just stalling the inevitable. Manages to take out Ellie. But as the 0 point goes out, no information secured. Falling back to their spawn. This round, it feels over. Like, it's timing as well. Come on, man.
It is a very sad moment here as Ionic needs an ironic save here as it's just not going to come about. Zerfi will finish it off. It is a match point for RME. And if you're that RME fan that had to stay up even though that you have to go to work in 6 hours, you must be happy seeing Pugs win right now. It's not looking good.
See, here's the thing. I have two options here, right? Well, I want to make it clear, I am not an RME Aurora hater. I was actually, earlier in this series, I was really sad that you were color casting for like the entire duration of a buy round, because I really, when Pugs did like the heart in Haven, like shot out the heart, I wanted to say, can we get hugs for Pugs in chat? It's like, let me be clear, I'm not an RME hater. But I'm gonna double down on this comeback. This is happening. All right, okay, all right. Pugs gets Foolmonger, but that's not gonna deter them at all. They're still pushing forward in the market, and they get some spam damage. Ionic manages to take out Dog Eater, and the market has been secured. The Neural Theft sent out as well is gonna secure some information for the side of RME, but that information is gonna be their damnation as they start to take these gunfights and lose them. Ionic stalling time long enough for his team to fall back to these passive positions. The Rolling Thunder won't hit anybody, and the around the world flank from the fade is gonna have to be the last hope. Crispy, it's not even planted for you. Come on, man. Oh no, it's just gonna be a stick on the defuse, and it's gonna be RME Ellie securing the victory here, and even adding insult to injury as we say goodbye to Sunset and RME Aurora go up 2-0.
Unfortunately, Pandas just couldn't beat the pressure of this RME team. Zerfi having a way,
Rhodes.
RME having a way better bounce back this game as Zerfi doing their absolute best to pull it through and just did not see the same Panda roster over the course of that game. 13-4 is definitely not one you want to have, but either way, a really nice series to go on and a really nice map win for RME to close it out.
Yeah, congratulations to RME for winning 2-1 there. They're going to go 2-0 in the league. And that's going to be it for me and Rhodes tonight. Make sure you are tuning in more as we have more matches down the pipeline for sure.
Adios.
Can I be your superhero? Superhero. Superhero. Superhero.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, choke you down just like a pill. Oh yeah. Take you like a pill.
I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. That it feels right. Feels right. So right, so right, so right. I'm just going with the gut. Never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now. We know I ain't ballin' yet. Hoes wanna holler, oh no, I don't call them back. Girl, let me see you hold it down, we gon' have a blast. Cause I just wanna know what you gonna do with all of that. Ain't